Chapter 1328. Compared to the axe trace that he had seen in the Jiaoliang mountain, the killing intent of this axe was more than 100 times stronger than the one he had seen in the past. When the axe completely enveloped the entire space, all the other auras disappeared, leaving only one kind of aura, that of death. Several late-stage Unity Realm experts, after being suppressed for a short while, started to burn their Dao charm frantically, trying to break through the vast killing intent of the axe and escape. Ning Cheng wanted to hide in his mysterious yellow bead, but he didn't dare to. It was hard to say that this axe wasn't controlled by someone. If someone was controlling it, then the mysterious yellow bead's owner would discover the mysterious yellow bead the next moment. In just a breath's time, the axe fell. Boom, boom, boom. The violent Dao charm exploded, the mountains and rivers collapsed, the laws shattered, and a black hole appeared in the void torn apart by the axe. Ning Cheng gave out a sigh, and the good fortune spirit spear transformed into a protective spear pattern that blocked the terrifying killing intent. Kacha, poof. The spear pattern shattered, and a bloody light appeared. The monstrous axe shadow also disappeared without a trace at this moment. The axe lines that tore apart the Dao charm started to corrode Ning Cheng's body. Ning Cheng swallowed several healing pills. Under the circulation of the Dao charm, the axe lines quickly dispersed the corrosive axe lines that tore apart his Dao charm. Previously, he had to use the recalling Bodhi seed to comprehend samsara to escape from an axe line. If not for the recalling Bodhi seed, he would have already fallen. This time, he faced the indestructible axe head-on, but he only suffered minor injuries. Ning Cheng glanced at the place where the indestructible axe disappeared in the void and remembered this karma in his heart. He had never tried to provoke the indestructible axe, but he ended up getting hit twice. So what if it was a good fortune treasure? He also had a good fortune treasure. Slowly calming down the Dao charm around his body, Ning Cheng's gaze once again fell on the location of the Seven Ways Duan clan. The previously beautiful Seven Ways Duan clan no longer had even the slightest shadow of its former self. Only a deep axe mark remained in front of him. Because this axe tore through the laws of space, the mountains and rivers had all turned into ruins. The indestructible axe's blade fragment that he left behind had also disappeared. As for the Seven Ways Duan clan's disciples, he hadn't seen a single one. Even the powerhouses who had come to snatch the indestructible axe's blade fragment did not leave a single trace behind. Ning Cheng was secretly startled in his heart, although he did not have even the slightest favorable impression towards the indestructible axe, but the formidable killing intent emanating from the indestructible axe still left a lingering fear in his heart. If he had not been at the outermost edge, then perhaps he would have been one of the people who disappeared. Although Ning Cheng guessed that under the powerful killing intent of the indestructible axe, some of the powerhouses in the melee should have managed to escape, but the number of people who managed to escape would definitely not exceed the fingers on one hand. As Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness swept out, he immediately sensed even more auras rushing towards him. He knew that experts from the Seven Hua world had come to investigate after Duan clan of the Seven Hua world was killed by the undying axe. The Duan clan of Seven Soas had been annihilated. Although he wasn't the one who did it, it was directly related to him. Ning Cheng shook his head. After not finding Chang Wuxiao, he quickly retreated. Although Chang Wuxiao was on the edge compared to him, Chang Wuxiao's strength was just too weak. Therefore, it was normal for him to be unable to block the Dao charm killing intent of the indestructible axe. However, Chang Wuxiao's wish had been fulfilled. At the very least, the Duan clan of the Seven SOS had been annihilated. He wouldn't have any regrets even if he died. Before Ning Cheng returned to heavens beyond, the news of the indestructible axe tearing apart the Seven Hua world's realm protection and directly killing the Duan clan of the Seven Soas had already spread to heavens beyond. Not many people in heavens beyond did not know that Ning Cheng had left heavens beyond and gone to the Seven Hua world. Now that Ning Cheng had yet to return, the Duan clan of the Seven Soas had already disappeared from the long river of history. Everyone knew that it was necessary for Heavens Beyond to be redivided. In Heavens Beyond, no one dared to offend Ning Cheng or the sacred Tao sect anymore. Heavens Beyond used to be a small place, but there were two ruthless Tao integration realm experts here. One of them had dared to kill an expert from the Heavenly Gate realm, the #1 major realm, with one saber move, while the other had directly gone to the Seven Hua world to annihilate the Duan clan of the Seven Soas. Sang Wanglong was even more low-key and silent. The sacred Tao sect master had killed Mu Qiangjue from the Heavenly Gate realm's Thunderclap Valley. Even the Heavenly Gate realm would not let this matter go, let alone the Thunderclap Valley. He had seen the strength of the sacred Tao sect master with his own eyes. From the bottom of his heart, he really did not want to get involved. However, Sang Wanglong was a member of the Heavenly Gate Realm Alliance. Once the Heavenly Gate Realm Alliance appeared, he would have to get involved even if he did not want to. On the Heavens Beyond Square, shadows were teleported out of the Void Array door. When these shadows landed on the square, they immediately brought with them a valiant aura oppression. Quan Shi, who was guarding the edge of the square, was forced to take a few steps back by this powerful oppression. Then, he looked in shock at the row of more than 10 experts in front of him. He was sure that none of these people was weaker than Heavenly Lord Feng. Some of them were even far stronger than him. It's indeed a place that connects several planes and realms. There are many void array doors that lead to this place. A golden-haired man was walking in front. The golden-haired man had extremely white skin, a long face, and strange inverted triangular eyes. The Tao runes around him condensed, giving people the feeling that the space he was in would collapse if he exerted force. Quan Shi reacted and took a deep breath. Then, he quickly walked up and bowed with cupped fists. Heavens Beyond Quan Shi greets seniors. The golden-haired man did not look at the bowing Quan Shi at all. Instead, he looked at the void in front of the square. A moment later, a figure appeared in the void. "Brother Ning, you're back." Quan Shi was delighted when he saw this figure and hurried forward to greet him. He naturally knew that Ning Cheng had gone to the Seven Soi realm. He had also heard about the destruction of the Seven Soi Duan clan. Although the Seven Soi Duan clan had been destroyed by the Good Fortune Indestructible Axe, he did not think that Ning Cheng had nothing to do with it. The Seven Soi Duan clan had existed for many years. Why would Ning Cheng be destroyed by the Good Fortune Indestructible Axe when he went there? Get lost. When the golden-haired man saw that Quan Shi had actually spoken to Ning Cheng before him, he snorted and raised his hand to wave out a Tao rune. Boom! The Tao rune did not hit Quan Shi's body. Instead, it was dispersed by Ning Cheng's punch. Such a powerful law control. The golden-haired man looked at Ning Cheng and asked, "Who are you? Are you the sacred Tao sect master, Yemo?" Ning Cheng could also feel the power of this group of people. After he helped Quan Shi block this disaster, he didn't continue to look for the golden-haired man. Instead, he saluted Quan Shi with his fists and said, "That's right, I'm back. How is Heaven Lord Feng?" Quan Shi was from Feng Huangmei and was a good person. Ning Cheng had a good impression of him. The golden-haired man saw that Ning Cheng also ignored him and snorted, "I'm Tu Lianyu from the Heaven Gate realm." Heaven Gate realm? Ning Cheng thought of Sang Wanglong. He didn't have a good impression of Sang Wanglong, but he didn't have a bad impression either. Seeing this, he nodded and saluted with his fists, "Ning Cheng, from the Great Essence realm." After saying this, Ning Cheng's gaze fell on the dozen or so people behind Tu Lianyu. Immediately, his eyes twitched. Among these dozen or so people, the weakest was probably no weaker than Feng Huangmei at the third step. A few of them weren't much weaker than Tu Lianyu. Whether it was an illusion realm or a fake realm, they were a group of true powerhouses. As for Tu Lianyu walking at the front, Ning Cheng estimated that he was at the peak of the Unity realm. "Oh, so you're not Yemo?" Tu Lianyu's face eased up and he nodded. Quan Shi quickly transmitted his voice to Ning Cheng, "Brother Ning, the Divine Dao Sect Master is back and killed Heaven Gate Realm's Unity Realm expert, Mu Qiangjue. These people probably came here to get revenge on the Divine Dao Sect. Although Quan Shi was quite strong, in front of Tu Lianyu, he was no different from a baby learning how to speak. Quan Shi's voice transmission fell into Tu Lianyu's ears without missing a single word. Tu Lianyu looked at Quan Shi and asked coldly, "So it's true that the Divine Dao Sect Master killed my Heaven Gate Realm's Unity Realm expert?" Quan Shi shuddered. He felt a little regretful. He shouldn't have transmitted his voice here. Ning Qing walked over and patted Quan Shi's shoulder. "Dao friend Quan, this place is still under Heaven Lord Feng's control. The one who should be questioned isn't you, but the newcomer." Quan Shi felt touched. Before he could speak, Tu Lianyu looked at Ning Qing again and said in a calm tone, "It's fine to be young, but you can't talk nonsense." Ning Qing unexpectedly nodded. "Dao friend Tu is right. It's fine to be young, but you can't talk nonsense." Previously, there was a 7 Aqua Duan clan that said they wanted to destroy my Great Essence realm, so the 7 Aqua Duan clan no longer exists. By the way, I just came back from the 7 Aqua realm. Although Ning Qing had blocked his casual role, Tu Lianyu didn't put Ning Qing in his eyes. Now that Ning Qing spoke those words, his gaze immediately locked onto Ning Qing. As a veteran Unity Realm expert, he had heard of the 7 Aqua Duan clan. He had even been to the 7 Aqua realm once. The 7 Aqua realm's ranking wasn't as high as the Heaven Gate realm, but it was in the top few. The 7 Aqua Duan clan was the top power of the 7 Aqua realm. It said that they had a Dao Spring Mountain, so they had the most third-step experts. Moreover, the Duan clan of 7 Soas also had 3 or 4 merging realm experts. Was this young man bragging? He could annihilate the 7 Aqua Duan clan. Was this person Yi Mo hiding his name? From Sang Wanlong's news, he knew that Divine Dao Sect leader Yi Mo killed his Heaven Gate Realm Unity Realm Tertiary Stage Mu Qiangjue. Sang Wanlong greets Dao Monarch 2, Dao Monarch Feng, Dao Monarch Yi. Sang Wanlong hurried over while Tu Lianyu was still thinking. After greeting Tu Lianyu, he saw Ning Qing standing on the side with a spear on his back. He quickly saluted with his fists. "So Dao friend Ning is back, congratulations." Tu Lianyu frowned. He knew Sang Wanlong. If Ning Qing didn't know him, Sang Wanlong wouldn't greet Ning Qing at the same time. Chapter 1329. Before Tu Lianyu could ask, Sang Wanlong took the initiative to send a voice transmission. Apart from the sacred Dao Sect Master, the other 2 experts in heavens beyond are Ning Qing. Back then, I saw with my own eyes how he killed Duan Shiza, a Unity Realm expert of the Duan clan of 7 Pagodas. His 7 Bridges divine art is extremely terrifying. In fact, apart from the 7 Bridges, there was also Ning Qing's order-breaking finger. However, Sang Wanlong still couldn't figure out why Ning Qing's law-breaking finger was so powerful. Tu Lianyu's expression immediately changed. Ning Qing had managed to block his casual role before, although he was a little surprised, he did not care about it. He did not expect that Ning Qing would actually possess the 7 Bridges spiritual technique. He had been to the 7 Aqua world before, so he was naturally aware of Duan Shiza's strength. Even though Duan Shiza wasn't the strongest expert in the Duan clan of 7 Pagodas, he was still a true expert in the Unity realm. This early-stage Dao integration cultivator in front of him could kill Duan Shiza, who was in the realm integration realm. He was probably not someone he could bully casually. The 7 Bridges mystic art was one of the mystic arts that he yearned for. Fellow Daoist Ning's words make sense. The Duan clan of the 7 Ways is arrogant and unbridled. It is reasonable that they were destroyed this time. Tu Lianyu had come to show off the might of the Sky Gate realm and also to take revenge for Mu Qiangjue. At this time, he naturally would not offend an expert like the sacred Dao Sect Master. Even if he wanted to offend him, he would have to wait until he killed the sacred Dao Sect Master. Ning Qing didn't try to eavesdrop on Sang Wanlong's sound transmission. But when he saw Tu Lianyu's expression change, he immediately understood what Sang Wanlong said. Regarding these powerhouses who had always been aloof, Ning Qing had no interest in making friends with them. Not to mention the pseudo-realms, even the true realms cultivated the truth Tao. If it didn't suit his temperament, he wouldn't give a damn. No problem. Ning Qing responded casually before turning to Quan Shi and saying, Daoist Quan, the heavens beyond heaven competition is around the corner. This place is going to start restricting people from entering. Tu Lianyu's face sank. He did not expect Ning Qing to not give him any face. Daoist Ning is right. Too many people have come to heavens beyond recently, and it's too chaotic. Since the competition is about to begin, we really have to limit the number of people who can enter. Feng Huangmei's voice came just in time. He seemed to be very energetic. When Tu Lianyu saw that Feng Huangmei, a mere early-stage creation realm, dared to speak like this, he was immediately enraged. Sang Wanlong said in time, Dao Lord Tu, this is Heavenly Lord Feng, the Heavenly Lord of Heavens Beyond. Tu Lianyu was a peak integration realm expert after all. Upon hearing Sang Wanlong's words, he chuckled faintly. Since Heavens Beyond is going to be divided, he will no longer be the Heaven Lord of Heavens Beyond. The Heaven Lord of the Heavens Beyond of Heaven and Earth should at least be an integration realm expert. How can his cultivation level be so low? Sang Wanlong secretly cursed in his heart. He knew that Feng Huangmei and Ning Qing had a good relationship. Sure enough, without waiting for him to speak up, Ning Qing spoke up in a cold voice, Dao friend Tu, you're wrong. After the mysterious yellow body's heavens beyond heaven redivided, the heavens master here is still Dao friend Feng. Tu Lianyu raised her eyebrows. This Ning Qing should have a big secret. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to kill an integration realm expert as a Dao integration realm cultivator. However, no matter how big of a secret it was, it wouldn't do to not give Tu Lianyu face. Daoist Ning Qing is at least right about one thing. After the heavens beyond is redivided, Daoist Feng will naturally still be the Heaven Lord of the Heavens Beyond. Another voice was heard with the same unfriendly tone. Tu Lianyu didn't care about Ning Qing anymore. His gaze landed on the few people who had come over. There were 2 integration realm experts and several creation realm experts. The person who had spoken was a late-stage Dao integration realm divine emperor. The Dao runes around this late-stage Dao integration realm divine emperor were overflowing. Clearly, his cultivation level was not very stable. What puzzled him even more was that this late-stage Dao integration realm divine emperor was carrying a purple saber on his back, just like Ning Qing. You're the sacred Dao sect master, Yi Mo. He instantly understood and asked with a hint of sharp killing intent. Yi Mo replied faintly, that's right, I'm Yi Mo. If I'm not wrong, you're all from Heaven Gate Realm, right? Heaven Gate Realm is said to be the strongest realm around heavens beyond. You're probably here to get revenge for Mu Qiangjue. Then, Yi Mo scanned the people behind Tu Lianyu and smiled, Heaven Gate Realm really thinks highly of me. This time, 4 integration realm experts and 9 creation realm experts came. Tu Lianyu said coldly, you are right. The elders of the Sky Gate Realm Union cannot be killed by anyone. I am Tu Lianyu of the Sky Gate Realm Union. Although he was talking to Yi Mo, his gaze landed on the 2 integration realm experts not far from Yi Mo. No matter how powerful Yi Mo was, he was just an unstable Dao integration realm tertiary stage. His Heaven Gate realm had 4 integration realm experts and so many creation realm experts, so he didn't care about Yi Mo. Before Tu Lianyu said anything, one of the women got up and saluted with her fists. 3 Essence Realm Mir 1 greets Dao Lord Tuesday, the other Integration Realm Old Man also got up and saluted with his fists. 9 Heavens Realm Liao Qian Luo greets Dao Lord Tuesday. Upon hearing that the 2 of them were not from the beyond of heaven and earth, Tu Lianyu heaved a sigh of relief. He laughed and said with cupped fists, oh, it's two Taoists from the Three Elements realm and the Nine Heavens realm. After greeting Liao Qianluo and Mi Ruan, Tu Lianyu looked at Yi Mo, no matter what, it's not your turn to kill our Heaven Gate realm people. Tu Lianyu stepped forward and the 10 or so people behind him formed a half-fan shape and surrounded Yi Mo. Sang Wang Long looked at the scene in front of him, not knowing if he should step up or not. Yi Mo didn't care at all and looked at Ning Cheng. Dao friend Ning, we had a good time working together before. After I returned to the beyond of heaven and earth, I heard something unpleasant. Ning Cheng said plainly, that's right, I crippled Yi Huangping. If it wasn't for Luo Qinghe, I would have killed him on the spot. Even if I had to do it again, I would still do it. He was no match for Yi Mo yet, but Ning Cheng knew it wasn't that easy for Yi Mo to kill him. At most, he would give up heaven beyond heaven and go back to Great Essence Realm. One day, he would come back. Tu Lianyu and them heard this and rejoiced. They didn't expect there was conflict between Ning Cheng and Yi Mo. He wanted it to be as big as possible. He didn't think Yi Mo could escape, but Yi Mo could easily kill Mu Qiangjue, so he wasn't an ordinary person. Even if he could kill such a person, his side would suffer heavy losses. If there was enmity between Ning Cheng and Yi Mo, it would be easy for him. So now, not only did he not attack, he didn't even say anything. Yi Mo smiled and said, using Tu Lianyu's words, no matter what, it's not your turn to teach a lesson to my divine Tao sect disciple. Mi Yun heard this and her heart moved. She clearly remembered that when she told the sect leader that Huang Ping was crippled, the sect leader only asked one word, why. As the person in charge of divine Tao sect in heaven beyond heaven, Mi Yun didn't dare to hide it. She could only tell Yi Mo everything about Yi Huangping dominating the market. As for Ning Cheng destroying Yi Huangping, it was Yi Huangping who went to teach Ning Cheng a lesson. After a long while, she heard Yi Mo sigh, I don't have much time at home. Mi Yun, after this battle, go back to the divine Tao realm. This place isn't suitable for you. As for Huang Ping, no need to repair his foundation. Let him live his life as an ordinary person. Mi Yun knew what Yi Mo meant. Even if Yi Huangping was a descendant of the Yi family, he wouldn't be able to step on the divine Tao sect's mission. She, Mi Yun, had failed to stop Yi Huangping's actions in time, allowing Yi Huangping to reach this point, which was tantamount to letting her down. Now that the sect leader said this, did he want to get revenge for Huangping? Ning Cheng's face was very calm. He had teamed up with Yi Mo before and admired Yi Mo. If Yi Mo was going to get revenge for his divine Tao sect disciples, then he would. Sect leader Yi, how can the evil deeds of the disciples of your sacred Tao sect compare to the Tao lords of my Sky Gate realm? Tao friend Ning is doing justice for heaven. I don't think he did anything wrong. Tu Lianyu reproached from Ning Cheng's perspective. Ning Cheng's face was plain. How could he not know what Tu Lianyu meant? Would the Heaven Gate realm be so nice to help him? After Yi Mo was killed, Ning Cheng would be the next to be killed. Did Tu Lianyu want to treat him as an idiot? What he needed to do now wasn't to join up with Tu Lianyu against Yi Mo but to join up with Yi Mo to kill these Heaven Gate realm masters. Thinking about this, Ning Cheng opened his hand and the creation god spear fell into his hand. Seeing Ning Cheng bring out his magical weapon, Feng Huangmei became even more anxious. What he was most worried about was Ning Cheng and Yi Mo fighting. If that happened, heavens beyond would really be over. The reason they could still talk in heaven beyond heaven was because there were two powerful beings in heaven beyond heaven, Ning Cheng and Yi Mo. Now that Ning Cheng heard Tu Lianyu's words and released his magic artifact, clearly he was going to join up with Tu Lianyu against Yi Mo. Tu Lianyu rejoiced. Ning Cheng was indeed young. He only saw the benefits in front of him. With this Ning Cheng, he was 100% certain he could kill Yi Mo and not let the Heaven Gate realm people get hurt. Unexpectedly, Ning Cheng didn't attack or reply to him. Instead, Yi Mo said, Tao friend Ning, we'll deal with our business during the battle. Now, I invite you to join up with me against these shameless old things. Are you willing? Ning Qing laughed, that's what I want. As he spoke, Ning Qing took a step forward. Yi Mo and the two of them were inside the half-fan-shaped encirclement and outside the half-fan-shaped encirclement. Sang Wanlong's heart sunk. What he was worried about the most had happened. After knowing Yi Mo and Ning Cheng's power, he was worried that the two would join forces. Now, the two really joined forces. Now that they were really joining up, it was clear that they didn't plan to move the battlefield outside the square. As long as one was a third-step expert, they would guess that there was a confinement-killing array around the beyond of heaven and earth square. Chapter 1330. Dao Lord 2, Sect Leader Yi, Daoist Ning, listen to me. Sang Wanglong was anxious indeed. He quickly saluted with his fists and said. Only he knew how powerful Ning Cheng and Yi Mo were. Ning Cheng could easily annihilate the Duan 7 So Duan clan and Yi Mo could instantly kill Mu Qiangjue. Now that the two of them joined forces, it would be hard for the Heaven Gate Realm Alliance to deal with them even if they joined forces. The only chance of winning was the Heaven Gate Realm Alliance's Dao Wave Superposition method. However, even if the Heaven Gate Realm Alliance's third-step experts joined forces to kill Yi Mo and Ning Cheng, the price they would have to pay would be unimaginable. Sang Wanglong didn't want the Heaven Gate Realm Alliance and Yi Ning to fight. Feng Huangmei also didn't want the two to fight. Even if Yi Mo and Ning Cheng could beat more than 10 third-step masters, so what? There were more people in the Heaven Gate realm. Perhaps there were 10 times more experts in the Heaven Gate realm. Meanwhile, there were only Ning Cheng and Yi Mo in heavens beyond. There was even some conflict between them. Tu Lianyu's face looked bad. He hated Ning Cheng more than Yi Mo. This puny Dao integration cultivator didn't know his place and didn't give him any face at all. He had been helping Ning Cheng before, but this person didn't know what was good for him. However, he was also very concerned. He had been worried that the two of them would join forces against the Heaven Gate realm. Now, it really became a reality. Only Ning Cheng and Yi Mo knew that as long as they joined hands, they would be able to kill 10 more third-step cultivators, much less these 10. This was because they could use the complete 7 Bridges divine art if they joined forces. In Ning Cheng's opinion, when he was still at late-stage primordial chaos and Yi Mo was at early-stage Dao integration, they had used the 7 Bridges to scare Xing Shi away. Now, he was at early-stage Dao integration while Yi Mo was at late-stage Dao integration. If they couldn't kill these fake realms, it would be a waste of Dao integration. Thinking of this, Ning Cheng couldn't help glancing at Yi Mo. He had obtained a great opportunity in the slaughter realm and so had Yi Mo otherwise, he wouldn't have reached late-stage Dao integration so quickly. The Jiaoyang Mountain was a good place. He had to go to the Jiaoyang Mountain after the matters of the heavens beyond and the Great Essence realm were settled. Attack! Tu Lianyu was the first to bring out his magic treasure when he saw the cultivators from the other realms turn to look at him. Even if they were no match for them, they still had to fight. Otherwise, if they were scared off by 2 Dao integration stage holy emperors, the Heavenly Gate realm wouldn't have the face to continue calling itself the number 1 realm. Everyone leave. Ning Cheng and Yi Mo said at the same time. Without the need for the two of them to speak, the rest of the people also left the beyond of heaven and earth square. Once they started fighting, the confinement killing array of the heavens beyond square would definitely be activated. If they stayed here, they would only be swept into the confinement killing array. Hearing Yi Mo say the same thing, Ning Cheng knew that Yi Mo also set up a trap kill formation here. After everyone left the beyond of heaven and earth, the heaven and earth space in the beyond of heaven and earth became chaotic. All kinds of laws of heaven and earth began to shatter, and all kinds of powerful divine ability laws began to wreak havoc. Violent Dao wave qi filled the entire space. Luckily, the world laws of the beyond of heaven and earth were extremely powerful. Even though the beyond of heaven and earth square's laws were shattered, the laws of the other places were still intact. Tao wave power exploded and law ravaged. Tao light and God art kept rumbling in the space. Both Ning Cheng and Yi Mo rejoiced that they teamed up. Killing a Unity Realm Master was completely different than facing more than 10 third-step cultivators and even Unity Realm Peak Stage cultivators. At this moment, Yi Mo's falling mark sword rune, instant breath, one side, ice space, and other god arts were all used. Ning Cheng also brought out his traceless, flowing times 3 stages and dark consciousness explosion without any reservations. He even used the order-breaking finger twice. The two of them had only managed to kill 2 creation realm experts with such powerful divine ability attacks. If there were less than half of them, perhaps they would have won already. There were a total of 14 people including Sang Wanglong. The attacks were stacked with Tao waves through an attack formation. Every time Ning Cheng and Yi Mo wanted to kill one, the other people's Tao wave stacked attacks would come. If the two of them did not join forces, any one of them would have to retreat when facing the superimposed Tao runes of more than 10 people. Ning Cheng and Yi Mo each killed a creation realm master. In order to kill these two, Ning Cheng and Yi Mo paid the price. Ning Cheng's left chest was struck by a Unity Realm middle stage beam god art. Yi Mo's back was cut by a dark light flag of a Unity Realm tertiary stage divine emperor. At this moment, Ning Cheng and Yi Mo could tell that the Tao waves of the Heaven Gate Realm's powerful beings were definitely no weaker than Xing Shi's. Especially that Unity Realm tertiary stage who injured Yi Mo. His eyes were half closed as though he would fall asleep at any moment. He hadn't said anything since coming here. However, this person was much stronger than the blonde Tu Lianyu. In fact, he was several times stronger than the blonde Tu Lianyu. Ning Cheng suspected that this guy didn't fuse a fake realm. Even if this guy wasn't as strong as Xing Shi, his realm wouldn't be weaker than formless Tao Lord. Tu Lianyu's expression was also gloomy. He had tried his best to overestimate these two, but in reality, their strength had far exceeded his expectations. Whether it was Ning Cheng or Yi Mo, their Tao waves were condensed and powerful. They weren't something ordinary Unity Realm Tao Lords could compare with. If they waited for Yi Mo's power to stabilize, their Tao waves wouldn't be enough. At the same time, he didn't expect Feng Xian hid so deeply. Only when they really fought did he realize that Feng Xian's strength was stronger than his, and it was not just a little bit. If it wasn't that Ning Cheng and Yi Mo were too strong, he wouldn't even know now. Feng Xian was the late-stage realm integration expert who had been squinting his eyes. He was also shocked. If it wasn't that he was far stronger than ordinary Unity Realm Masters, they would have been annihilated already. If he knew these two were this strong, he wouldn't have come here. He used his full power but still couldn't get the upper hand. Thinking that there was still a trap and kill formation that hadn't been activated, Feng Xian was more anxious. Usually, he wouldn't care about the trap and kill formation but now was different. However, things were different now. There were two powerful Tao integration stage Holy Emperors fighting against them. If the trap and kill formation was activated again, the Heaven Gate Realm people would lose but he probably wouldn't be able to win either. Star Sea Splitting Flag. Feng Xian no longer had the mood to continue fighting with Ning Cheng and Yi Mo. The dark flag above his head suddenly split open and turned into endless planets. These planets smashed down from the void and directly smashed towards Ning Cheng and Yi Mo. At the same time, a pitch-black ball appeared in Feng Xian's hand. This ball just appeared in Feng Xian's hand and it almost crushed the surrounding space law. These planets smashed down from the void as though they were real. Ning Cheng and Yi Mo's domain was broken. The violent Taoist rhyme energy made their bones and tendons crackle. This was an attack of extreme power. 7 bridges. At the same time, Feng Xian used Star Sea Shattering Flag to break their domain. Ning Cheng and Yi Mo used 7 bridges god art. The two didn't activate the trap and kill formation. Once it was activated, it would damage the surroundings of heaven beyond and they probably wouldn't be able to gain the upper hand. The opponent not only had a powerful Dao wave stacking formation but also Feng Xian, a powerful realm integration. The 7 bridges were released at the same time. Surging samsara Dao waves rumbled in the space. The heaven and earth samsara chi swept over. All living beings standing before this chi had to crawl under this great Dao samsara chi. If heaven wants you to reincarnate, you will reincarnate. If heaven wants you to never reincarnate, your soul will be annihilated. The vast heaven and earth samsara chi was born in the 7 bridges. Yimo's Dao Chi and Ning Cheng's Dao Chi combined to form a complete samsara passage. Your life is a gift from heaven and earth. Your death is a gift from the 7 bridges. Helplessness, Wang Xiang, Wang Chuan and Huang Quan. There was no good or evil in Huang Quan. One turned to dust on the bridge of rebirth. If one wanted to return to the other side and reincarnate, they would never return after entering this bridge, samsara. Everything began to reincarnate. This was no longer heaven beyond. This was the beginning of samsara. From helplessness to samsara, from life to death. This time, the two joined forces to release the 7 bridges God art. There was no longer the bleak wind and blood sea. There was only samsara Dao wave. From the bridge of helplessness, from life to death, samsara. In life, you will enter the 7 bridges. In death, you will still enter the 7 bridges. The moment the 7 bridges God art's Dao waves fused, the Dao waves stacked by the Heaven Gate Realm's 3rd step experts disintegrated and shattered. Ning Cheng and Yi Mo didn't have the upper hand not because the Heaven Gate Realm's 3rd step experts were strong, but because the Heaven Gate's stacked Dao waves were too strong. Now that the stacked Dao waves disintegrated, even without the 7 bridges, the two could kill them one by one. The Dao waves of the 7 bridges grew denser, and the entire world seemed to have formed a new underworld. Time was flowing backward, and time was flowing backward. This is actually the complete 7 bridges God art. It forms the complete samsara 7 bridges. Feng Xian looked dazedly at the Heaven Gate Realm's creation realm masters being swept away by the 7 bridges Dao waves. Even Tu Lianyu was killed by Ning Cheng's finger. He was extremely shocked. Almost at the same time he reacted, he took out a talisman. With such a powerful 7 bridges, 2 heaven-defying experts, and a death trap array that had yet to be activated, Feng Xian would be courting death if he continued to stay here. You want to leave? Yi Mo sneered and raised his hand. A golden bow appeared in his hand. The next moment, he shot out 6 arrows. The 6 arrows turned into a void fissure. The entire space was filled with terrifying killing intent. The void was torn apart and life and death were controlled. Ning Cheng looked at the terrifying 6 arrows and Bone Bao in shock. He thought of his 5-color star splitter arrow. He only had one 5-color star splitter arrow, but he felt that perhaps only Bao and arrow fusion would be stronger than the 6 arrows. Did Yi Mo only have 6 arrows? He didn't know at all. There was a miserable cry in the void. The next moment, the 6 golden rays disappeared from Yi Mo's side. Dao friend Ning, sect leader Yi, please have mercy. This is our Heaven Gate Realm's fault. I, Sang Wanglong, apologize to you too on behalf of Heaven Gate Realm. In the rumbling 7-bridge samsara Dao wave, Sang Wanglong's terrified and begging voice sounded. At the same time, Ning Cheng put away the 6 bridges and Yi Mo put away samsara. Feng Xian ran away. Who knows if he was killed by Yi Mo? Most of the others were also killed by Qiqiao. Even Tu Lianyu was killed. At this moment, only 5 people were left standing in the middle of the plaza. Even without 7 bridges, the 2 of them could easily deal with these 5 people. Chapter 1331. Thank you sect leader Yi and Dao friend Ning for showing mercy. It's our fault this time. Due to Tu Lianyu's control, the Heaven Gate Realm Alliance doesn't differentiate between right and wrong. Tu Lianyu deserves what he got. I hope you two Dao friends can show mercy on account of the Heaven Gate Realm Alliance's sincerity. Sang Wanglong said worriedly. Among the remaining 5, Sang Wanglong's cultivation wasn't the highest. There was also a Unity Realm intermediate stage expert. But no one dared to say that Sang Wanglong was wrong. Even that Unity Realm Master didn't dare to say anything. Ning Qing didn't speak. To be honest, the main target of the Heaven Gate Realm Alliance wasn't him but Divine Dao Sect's EMO. It was the Duan clan of the 7 Soas who sought revenge on him. However, he had already dealt with them before they arrived. The only pity was that he didn't find Hengyan. The reason he attacked was because he knew that if the Divine Dao sect leader was killed, Tu Lianyu wouldn't let him go. At this point, if it was him, he wouldn't attack anymore. If he did, it would be fighting to the death with the Heaven Gate Realm Alliance. Seeing the two of them remain silent, Sang Wanglong anxiously said, I swear that the Heaven Gates Realm Alliance will not suffer any setbacks because of this. If something like this happens, I, Sang Wanglong, will take the blame and die. Sang Wanglong wasn't bluffing. The Heaven Gate Realm Alliance lost so many powerful beings. Even if they wanted to get revenge, they didn't have the power to do so. They didn't have the power or the courage to get revenge. Just think about it, so many experts had come to heaven beyond of heaven and earth, yet they could not touch Emo and Ningcheng. What could they do even if so many more experts came? It was true that the Heavenly Gates realm was powerful, but it could not easily gather more than 10 third-step experts, including 4 integration realm experts. The Heaven Gate Realm Alliance couldn't get revenge and the other sects couldn't either. The Heaven Gate Realm Alliance was made up of elders of the big sects, but each sect could at most send 1 or 2 people into the Heaven Gate Realm Alliance. Yemo and Ningcheng were so powerful that a sect couldn't deal with them. Yemo clearly didn't want to keep killing. He looked calmly at Sang Wanglong and said, the battle to divide heaven beyond heaven will be in 3 years. Saying that, he once again looked at Ningcheng and spoke, as for our matters, we will settle them during the fight. I hope that in 3 years, your cultivation will be able to advance further. With that, his figure flashed and he disappeared from the heavens beyond plaza. Ningcheng didn't care, he knew that Yemo's cultivation was unstable, he probably needed time to stabilize his state. In fact, he had just reached Dao integration, so he needed time to stabilize his cultivation base. He had no objections to Yemo's suggestion of 3 years later. Since Yemo wanted to resolve their enmity through a battle, he would agree. He and Yemo both knew what it meant to join hands. She knew about the beyond of heaven and earth, but she did not continue to wait for them in the Jialiang mountain. No one knew if she would come to the beyond of heaven and earth. If she came, neither he nor Yemo would be a match for her alone. Only when the two of them joined forces would they be able to stop this woman. After working together twice, both of them knew that their great Dao runes seemed to have formed a complementary relationship. It was precisely because of this that the 7 bridges grew stronger. Everyone saw the battle at the beyond of heaven and heavens beyond plaza clearly. Even the experts from the 3 elements realm and the 9 heavens realm who had retreated to the outside of the square didn't dare to stand out to object after seeing Yemo and Ningcheng Qiqiao joining hands. Yemo and Ningcheng's 7 bridges teamed up. Even the spectators could feel the power of that Samsara Dao wave Qi. 14 third-step experts attacked the 2 of them, including 4 Unity Realm experts. However, the 2 of them used the 7 bridges divine art to disintegrate and kill more than half of them. Unless they wanted to die, they would dare to object to the divine Dao sect master's suggestion. What's the name of the guy who ran away? Ningcheng suddenly asked. His name is Feng Xian. He wasn't very outstanding before, but I didn't expect him to be so powerful. Thank you for your generosity, Daoist Ning. Everyone from the Heaven Gate realm will leave the beyond of heaven and earth now. Please allow us, Sect Master Ning. Sang Wanglong's tone became extremely humble. Ning Qing said calmly, the Heaven Lord of Heaven and Earth's beyond is Heaven Lord Feng. You can ask Heaven Lord Feng if you want to. After saying that, Ning Qing also left the beyond of Heaven and Earth square in a flash. In addition to stabilizing his cultivation level, he also had to refine the 6-yin soul pill to save Ali. The 6-yin soul pill could only save Ali, but it could not help Lu Dongzi recover his physical body. Lu Dongzi would need to find another spiritual item to recover his physical body. The beyond of Heaven and Earth, which had been noisy and arrogant due to the approaching competition, suddenly quietened down. It was noisy because many experts from the outside world had come down from the beyond of Heaven and Earth. They were arrogant because these experts from the outside world acted unscrupulously in the beyond of Heaven and Earth. Forcing people to buy and sell and dominating the market were common occurrences. Ever since Ning Qing and the Divine Tao Sect Master had returned, the beyond of Heaven and Earth had become gentle and quiet. Even the third step experts who went out were not as arrogant and hostile as before. Ning Qing had killed the experts of the Duan clan of 7 pavilions as soon as he returned. Then, he had gone to the 7 pavilions realm to wipe them out. When the Divine Tao Sect Master had returned, he had killed the experts of the Heavenly Gate realm. In the end, the two of them had joined forces and killed almost all the third step experts from the Heavenly Gate realm who had come to the beyond of Heaven and Earth. Now, the two of them seemed to be in the beyond of Heaven and Earth. There were no fools there, so naturally, no one would dare to cause trouble in the beyond of Heaven and Earth. For the first time, Feng Huangmei felt the glory of being a Heaven Lord. He had never felt such glory even when he had been in charge of the 7 major forces. No matter which realm experts came here or returned, they would report to the Heaven Lord abode. Such a Heaven Lord was a true Heaven Lord. From the bottom of his heart, he did not want Ning Qing and the Divine Tao Sect Master, Yi Mo, to fight. As long as the two of them were in the beyond of Heaven and Earth, they could suppress the various experts from the other realms even if they did nothing. A year passed quickly, and Ali had long been rescued by Ning Qing. The only regret was that Lu Dongzi still had not found a treasure to recover his physical body. Although Shilin of the Myriad Realm auction attached great importance to this matter, the soul-gathering immortal lotus was something that could only be encountered by chance. During this year, apart from searching for the soul-gathering immortal lotus, Ning Qing had been in seclusion to integrate his Tao runes. The 7 bridges divine art lacked the reincarnation bridge, so there was nothing he could do. On the other hand, the order destruction finger and the time flow realms had become more solid under his comprehension. On this day, Ning Qing was observing the tree ring sapling in the mysterious yellow bead when he suddenly received a warning from the old fart. The tree ring sapling was already more than a meter tall in the mysterious yellow bead, and its surroundings gradually filled with some faint time law Dao rune aura. Moreover, the surroundings were gradually filled with a faint aura of the laws of time. It could be seen that this was indeed the seed of a growth ring. In time, this growth ring seed would also become the towering tree of the mysterious fairy clan. Ning Qing immediately came out of the mysterious yellow bead. If there was nothing special, the old fart would never casually send him a warning. Ever since he and Yi Mo had joined forces to teach the Sky Gate Realm Alliance's third step experts a lesson, the beyond of Heaven and Earth had been extremely peaceful. What was it that was worth the old fart sending him a warning? As soon as Ning Qing came out, he sensed that something was wrong. Powerful spatial fluctuations came, and it was obvious that someone was using nomological divine power in the beyond of Heaven and Earth. Amidst these fluctuations, there was also a faint smell of blood. What's going on? Ning Qing asked in confusion. The old fart hurriedly said, Heavenly Lord Feng sent a message. Someone is destroying the Mao family. The Mao family? Ning Qing was shocked. He had fought with Mao Tianqi in the Heaven-Earth Divine Tomb. He had also gone to the Mao family and taught the Mao family master a lesson. At the same time, he had killed a Dao integration expert of the Mao family. The Mao family was really unlucky this year. Now that Patriarch Mao Tianqi had not returned, someone was killing the Mao family. However, who would have the guts to make a move in the beyond of heaven and earth at this time? I'll go over and take a look. You stay here. Ning Cheng moved in a flash. He was currently living in the cave abode that Shi Lin had found for him. He had let the old fart stay here just in case. Li's and Lu Dong's principal spirits were also here. When Ning Cheng arrived at the Mao family, it was like hell. Ning Cheng and Yi Mo were fighting with more than 10 third-step experts from the Heavenly Gate realm in the beyond of heaven and earth, so they would at least be concerned about the square. Although the battle was very intense, it did not destroy the beyond of heaven and earth's public square. At the moment, the Mao family no longer had the powerful atmosphere that Ning Cheng had when he had first arrived. The beautiful cultivation environment of the Mao family had been destroyed, and there were ruins and ravines everywhere. The corpses of the Mao family cultivators were also scattered everywhere, and blood was spilled everywhere. The other party seemed to have done this on purpose. The skeletons and destroyed bodies of the Mao family cultivators could be seen everywhere. When Feng Huangmei saw Ning Cheng come over, he hurriedly went forward. Brother Ning, Ning Cheng's face was also ugly. No matter what, Feng Huangmei was now the heavenly lord of the beyond of heaven and earth. In everyone's opinion, Feng Huangmei's backer was him and the sacred Dao sect master. Now that someone had killed the Mao family and deliberately created such a hellish scene, Feng Huangmei's control over the beyond of heaven and earth would naturally be reduced. Who did this? Ning Cheng's gaze fell on the depths of the Mao family, which had already turned into ruins, as he asked in a slightly loud voice. It's a man and a woman. I heard that they came here for revenge. I saw them when they attacked, and they are very powerful. I'm afraid they are not weaker than the late-stage integration realm cultivator who escaped and was killed by Sect Master Yi during the battle on the beyond of heaven and earth square. Feng Huangmei said with some worry. Upon hearing this, Ning Cheng was shocked. Back then, the Heavenly Gate Realm Alliance had an extremely powerful late-stage integration realm cultivator. He had specially asked Tu Lianyu and learned that the guy was called Feng Xian. Now that this man and woman were not weaker than Feng Xian, they were definitely top-notch experts. We did it. Before Ning Cheng could ask again, a slightly cold voice was heard. Chapter 1332. As soon as he said that, a man and a woman landed in front of Ning Cheng and Feng Huangmei. The onlookers in the distance subconsciously took a few steps back. The man looked extremely young, and his long flaxen hair was tied into a starry sky cultivator's bun. Although his face was expressionless, it could not hide his handsome appearance. Ning Cheng could not help but praise him in his heart. This guy could make a living with his face. He did not need to cultivate at all. In fact, this guy's realm was very high and far stronger than his. He was already at the early stage integration realm. The Dao runes around him were condensed and integrated without any abruptness. The woman was tall and beautiful. Her skin was like jade, as if it would be broken by a gust of wind. The only thing that made Ning Cheng uncomfortable was her eyes, which had a hint of ruthlessness. The woman's cultivation level was slightly weaker than the man's, so Ning Cheng estimated that she should be at the late-stage creation realm. Heavens beyond prohibits fighting and seeking revenge. Don't you know about this? Feng Huangmei should have said that, but Ning Cheng had to say it on his behalf in the face of such an expert. The man said faintly, I know, but I want to kill them. What can you do to me? Ning Cheng smiled slightly. If the other party had not killed the Mao family but another family, he would definitely have helped Feng Huangmei. However, the two of them had destroyed the Mao family. Although the Mao family had been very restrained in heavens beyond in recent years, the Mao family's hands had been filled with blood. Now that the Mao family had been destroyed, he was not in the mood to step forward. Feng Huangmei knew that there was a rift between Ning Cheng and the Mao family, so Ning Qing smiled and did not speak. He took the initiative to step forward and said, "Heavens Beyond prohibits fighting. Please leave Heavens Beyond immediately." Since Mao Tianqi was not around and the Mao family had been destroyed, Feng Huangmei naturally would not stand up for the Mao family. The handsome man laughed. "Heavens Beyond has been famous recently, but it seems like it's nothing much. You must be Heavenly Lord Feng Huangmei. Sorry, I can't leave yet. Maybe I haven't killed enough people." Not only did Feng Huangmei look at Ning Cheng, but the surrounding cultivators also looked at Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng and the sacred Dao sect master had joined forces to kill the Heavenly Gate realm expert, who had admitted defeat and fled. They had even gone to the Seven Aqua realm to destroy the Seven Aqua Duan clan. Facing the challenge of these two people, there would definitely be a huge battle later. Ning Cheng did not speak, he was already ready to start. He didn't care that the two of them had killed the Mao family. However, if he killed another person who wasn't from the Mao family, he would immediately take action. Heaven Beyond of Heaven was calm on the surface because it was suppressed by him and Yemo. If he allowed the two of them to kill people here, the realm beyond Avalon would soon return to its original state. After the handsome-looking man finished his words, his gaze fell on Ning Cheng. Apparently, he could see that Ning Cheng's prestige seemed to be higher than Feng Huangmei's. Seeing that Ning Cheng did not speak, he was about to ridicule Ning Cheng again when his face suddenly changed, and his figure turned into a shadow and disappeared. Seeing the man leave, the woman also followed behind him. "I know why they're here." Huang Feng frowned as he watched the two disappear into the distance. "Why?" Ning Cheng asked in doubt. Feng Huangmei said in a serious tone, "They're probably here for the karma cultivation method that the Mao family stole. The Mao family once killed the entire family of a primordial essence divine emperor here to steal the 12 words mantra in the karma cultivation method. After the primordial essence divine emperor died, Heaven Beyond of Heaven became a land of karma resentment. These two people are going to the land of karma resentment." Speaking of this, Feng Huangmei seemed to have thought of something and looked at Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng understood what Feng Huangmei meant. The real owner of the 12 words mantra he had taken from the Mao family had arrived. Since this man and woman had come for the 12 syllables of the karma cultivation method, they would definitely find him. In that case, let's go take a look. Ning Cheng smiled faintly. He wasn't afraid that the two of them would attack him. As for the 12 words mantra, if they were kind enough to trade with him, he could wait for an E to finish cultivating and then trade it. If they wanted to take it by force, then I'm sorry. He had obtained the 12 words mantra from the Mao family as compensation, so he wouldn't casually give it to others. There really is a land of karma resentment here, and there's also the Dao rune aura of the karma cultivation method. The handsome man stared at the barren land in front of him and said coldly. The woman sighed softly. Sun Fuchuan was indeed killed here. That person didn't lie to us. But we killed the entire Mao family, but we didn't find what we needed. The man took a deep breath and said in a gloomy tone. Brother Tian Teng, don't worry. I said that I would help you find the 12 words mantra, so I naturally won't go back on my word. As the voice fell, a red-haired young man suddenly appeared and walked out. Daoist use clone technique is really powerful. Even I didn't notice it. When the handsome man saw the red-haired young man, his face finally revealed a trace of a smile that couldn't even be seen. He wasn't flattering him, but the clone technique's teleportation divine ability was really strange. He really couldn't detect it before there was no killing intent. The woman also asked from the side, "Does Daoist you really know where the 12 words mantra is?" The red-haired young man smiled and suddenly pointed to Ning Cheng, who had just arrived, and said, "The 12 words mantra is with him. This person is called Ning Cheng, and he's very strong." Ning Cheng also saw the red-haired man. At this moment, he understood what the problem was. This red-haired man cultivated several clones. Although his cultivation wasn't high, he had a peerless escape method. This fellow probably knew that he couldn't take away the great formless cultivation method from him, so he found someone to look for the 12 words mantra in disguise. He wanted to obtain the great formless cultivation method through this method. This monarch is Qin Wu Tianteng. The 12 words mantra is something from my sect. Sun Fuchuan and I are from the same sect. He took away the 12 words mantra, but it was snatched away by the Mao family. Now that I've killed the Mao family, since the 12 words mantra is with you, then leave it to me. The handsome man didn't even cup his fists. Instead, he stared at Ning Cheng and spoke in an indifferent tone. As he spoke, a powerful Dao charm aura spread out and almost materialized. It seemed to completely lock the surrounding space. For him, Ning Cheng handed over the 12 words mantra without any conditions. It was a matter of course. Ning Cheng didn't care about this Qin Wu Tianteng at all. He had killed a peak realm integration expert before. So what if Qin Wu Tianteng was as strong as Feng Xian? His gaze fell on the red-haired young man and he spoke in a calm tone, you're really willing to spend a lot of money to snatch the great formless cultivation method. You even found someone to help you. I originally planned to let you pay some spirit crystals and then sell it to you. But now, get the hell out of here. Your clones, apart from escaping, really don't put this Ning in my eyes. You knew that he wasn't Ning Cheng's opponent. Therefore, in the face of Ning Cheng's sarcasm, he simply didn't say a word. Qin Wu Tianteng's expression changed. This Ning Cheng was just a Dao integration expert, yet he dared to ignore his words. Was defeating a creation realm expert at the Dao integration realm amazing? When he had reached Dao integration, he could also easily kill a creation realm expert. Did those people from the false realm deserve to be called third-step experts? Qin Wu Tianteng moved his hand, and 2 purple symbols floated above his head. The Dao charm around him seemed to control this space. Now that a pair of purple symbols appeared, it made people feel even more oppressive. It was as if once this pair of purple symbols closed, anything in the middle of the symbols would be squeezed into pieces. Feng Huangmei closed the false realm. He couldn't bear this terrifying spatial pressure and involuntarily took a few steps back. When the woman saw the man make his move, a quaint black broken lamp appeared in her palm. As soon as this lamp appeared, the space controlled by the man seemed to have gained a new law, which made it more stable. Ning Cheng knew that this battle was inevitable. Since the other party wanted to snatch it, then let them come. He opened his hand, and the creation divine spear fell into his palm from behind. Qin Wu Tianteng didn't care about the creation divine spear on Ning Cheng's back. Now that Ning Cheng took out the creation divine spear, he realized that it was just a high-grade divine weapon. A puny Dao integration expert could only be arrogant in front of those false realms even if he had fused with the truth Dao. He wasn't qualified to be arrogant in front of Qin Wu Tianteng. The purple symbols carried endless nomological Dao charm, which almost squeezed this space into pieces. Ning Cheng was in the center of this space. Feng Huangmei, who was in the distance, wanted to come forward and help, but unfortunately, he found that although they were both creation realm powerhouses, his strength was too weak compared to that woman's. The woman held a black lamp in her hand. Even though she didn't make a move, she gave him a vast and boundless feeling. The spatial law locked by the purple symbols began to change. Although it hadn't been squeezed into pieces, it was no longer the original heaven-earth law. A faint mocking smile appeared on Qin Wu Tianteng's face. An early-stage Dao integration cultivator dared to attack him. He didn't know if he could use nomological divine powers in his purple symbol space. The wave-like mutated spatial law swept over. Ning Cheng instantly knew that Feng Huangmei was right. The other party was far stronger than Tu Lianyu, who was at the late-stage integration realm. However, there was still a gap between him and Feng Xian. He was sure that this person had fused the same realm as Feng Xian. It shouldn't be a false realm. However, his realm wasn't as high as Feng Xian's, so his cultivation level wasn't as high as Feng Xian's. At that moment, the spear pattern law of the creation divine spear also changed abruptly. It completely ignored the mutated laws in Qin Wu Tianting's purple symbol space and transformed into a new law that condensed into an ice-sealed space. This ice-sealed space directly blocked the powerful Dao charm aura of the purple symbols. The two different nomological spaces collided, and the Dao charm overflowed, rolling up wave after wave of violent waves. Ning Qing took advantage of the gap between the spatial collisions to blast out a finger. Ning Qing didn't want to tangle with Qin Wu Tianting at all. It was best to end this quickly. Qin Wu Tianting felt the powerful nomological aura of Ning Cheng's ice-sealed space and was slightly stunned. He hadn't used a killing move because he was worried that he wouldn't know the whereabouts of the 12 syllables after killing Ning Cheng. However, he hadn't expected that the other party's strength would be far beyond his estimation. An early-stage Dao integration expert could fight against an early-stage realm integration expert. What kind of Dao was this? Chapter 1333. Qin Wu Tianting didn't have time to think about these things. At this moment, he felt even more shocked. Ning Cheng's finger shot out and directly shattered Qin Wu Tianting's spatial domain. Even the spatial laws controlled by Zi Su's Dao charm began to crack. The laws of heaven and earth weakened without limit, whether it was the original laws or the laws under the purple symbol space. Qin Wu Tianting felt fear in his heart. Facing this finger, he saw heaven and earth dying. Everything would perish under this finger, and he had no way to resist the power of this finger. Ever since he started cultivating, he had never felt this way, not even when facing a convergence realm powerhouse. He forcibly turned the purple symbol back and replaced the shattered protective domain. Boom! The majestic and violent aura instantly blasted the middle of the purple symbol, which had yet to completely close. The purple symbol flew up, and the already weak laws shattered even more. Kacha, poof! Blood splattered. Ning Cheng stood in place without moving, while Qin Wu Tianting was blasted away by Ning Cheng's finger. The Dao charm around him scattered, and his entire body became dispirited. The woman who had been watching the battle from the side rushed over immediately, but she couldn't stop Qin Wu Tianting from getting injured. Ying, stop. You're not his opponent. Qin Wu Tianting immediately stopped the woman who was about to bring out the black lantern. Ning Cheng felt a sense of weakness. He hadn't swallowed the quintessential essence of the universe. With this finger, he believed that Qin Wu Tianting wouldn't be as arrogant as before. Although he didn't like this fellow, he didn't even think about killing Qin Wu Tianting. If Qin Wu Tianting and this woman both cultivated the great Dao, it meant that they had extraordinary origins. He didn't have much hatred with Qin Wu Tianting, so why would he want to make such a big enemy? What's more, from a certain point of view, Qin Wu Tianting had helped Jiang Man destroy the Mao clan. If he really wanted to kill Qin Wu Tianting, he wouldn't have brought out the order-breaking finger so early. Even if he wanted to bring out the order-breaking finger, he would have used other means to restrain the other party and then killed them in one blow. He wouldn't have injured the other party like this. When the woman heard Qin Wu Tianting's words, she quickly stopped attacking Ning Cheng and rushed to Qin Wu Tianting's side. Big brother Tianting. Ning Cheng didn't care about the two. His gaze fell on the place where Yu Yu had just stood, but Yu Yu had already disappeared. It had to be said that this fellow who cultivated clones had first-rate means of escaping. Qin Wu Tianting also saw Yu Yu disappear. He knew that he had been used by that red-haired ant. Dao friend Ning's strength is truly something that I have never seen before in my life. Qin Wu Tianting changed his previous strong attitude and cupped his fists towards Ning Cheng. When he came to heavens beyond, he had heard that there were two experts who had joined forces to defeat more than a dozen third-step experts. One of them was called Ning Cheng and the other was Divine Dao sect leader Yi Mo. At this moment, the sacred Dao sect master had yet to appear, but Ning Cheng's finger easily injured him. One could imagine that once the sect master of the sacred Tao sect came out, the two of them would not be able to leave the sky beyond heaven alive. Previously, because he knew that the creation realm experts here were all fake worlds, even if he had heard of such things, he did not care. Now, he was really a little afraid. Fellow Taoist Ning, the 12-word mantra truly belongs to my sect. When Sun Fuquan stole the 12 syllables mantra, my master had always been depressed. A few years ago, my master left Chongting Mountain and disappeared without a trace. This time, my martial sister Yingying and I came out to find the 12 syllables mantra. If Tao friend Ning can return the 12 syllables mantra to me, I, Qin Wu Tianteng, am willing to pay any price. Even Ning Qing admired Qin Wu Tianteng's change. Qin Wu Tianteng was extremely helpless. He knew that he could forget about the Great Formless Method. When Ning Qing spoke about the Great Formless Method, he looked calm on the surface but his heart was surging. Yu, a Tao integration cultivator, dared to ask for the Great Formless Method? His original plan was to capture Ning Qing and force out the Great Formless Method and the 12 syllables mantra. Ning Qing said plainly, the 12 syllables mantra is something that others gave me as compensation. If you want the 12 syllables mantra, you have to give me something that satisfies me. By the way, I'm in urgent need of the soul-gathering immortal lotus. If you can take it out, I can carve a copy of the 12 syllables mantra for you. Of course, if you have Heng Yang, I can consider it. Ning Qing didn't like Qin Wu Tianteng's character at all. At this time, he had no intention of handing over the 12 syllables mantra. If the other party could find the soul-gathering immortal lotus, he could carve a copy. Moreover, Ning Qing had some doubts about Qin Wu Tianteng's words. The 12 syllables mantra should have been kept by Qin Wu Tianteng's master. Since he could be Qin Wu Tianteng's master, there was no doubt about his strength. Sun Fuquan, who had been killed by the Mao family, had only been a late-stage primordial chaos cultivator. How could a primordial chaos sacred emperor steal the 12 syllables mantra from Qin Wu Tianteng's master? This was simply a joke. After saying that, Ning Qing could not be bothered with Qin Wu Tianteng. Instead, he told Feng Huangmei, Sky Lord Feng, how much damage has this person done in heavens beyond of heaven and earth? Ask him to pay double. The Mao family had killed an entire family to snatch the 12 syllables mantra back then. Ning Qing did not intend to use the Mao family's revenge to speak. As for the Chang Tingshan that Qin Wu Tianteng had mentioned, he had never heard of it. Qin Wu Tianteng had caused so much damage in heavens beyond, so he naturally had to pay for it. Qin Wu Tianteng opened his mouth but didn't dare to refute. Feng Huangmei smiled and told Ning Qing, Brother Ning, you can go back. I can be here. Before Feng Huangmei could finish his sentence, the defense array of the beyond of heaven and earth trembled. He stopped himself in time and looked at Ning Qing. Ever since Ning Qing and Yi Mo joined forces to repel the Heaven Gate realm powerhouses, no one dared to believe that someone would dare to attack the defense formation of heavens beyond. However, the reality was that someone was attacking the defense formation of heavens beyond. Joy flashed in Qin Wu Tianteng's eyes. He had overestimated his strength and underestimated the power of heavens beyond. Just when he had been at his wit's end, someone had given him such a big pillow. How could anyone who dared attack the defense array of heavens beyond be weak? Once this person and Ning Qing went head to head, he would definitely intervene. By the time Ning Qing and Feng Huangmei hurried to the heavens beyond square, it was already crowded with people. Both of them saw an acquaintance, Li Man. Apart from Li Man, Ning Qing also saw another acquaintance, Zhong Wuchen. The Tao runes around Li Man had dissipated. It was obvious that her foundation had been injured. Zhong Wuchen had actually succeeded in merging the realms. However, the Tao runes around him had also dissipated. His injuries were no lighter than Li Man's. Taoist Ning, you're really fine. That's great. Zhong Wuchen said in pleasant surprise when he saw Ning Cheng. Boom! Another bombardment came from outside the Heavens Beyond's defense array, causing the entire Heavens Beyond's defense array to shake. Based on the intensity of the attack, everyone knew that the person who had come was at least a realm integration expert. Heaven Lord Feng, save me. Li Man looked terrified when she saw Feng Huangmei. She was far less surprised than Zhong Wuchen. Feng Huangmei hurriedly said, Daoist Li, don't worry. You closed the defense array of Heavens Beyond just now, right? The Heavens Beyond of heaven and earth had yet to be divided. Every world creation expert in the Heavens Beyond of heaven and earth could close the defense array individually. Evidently, after Li Man and Zhong Wuchen had escaped to Heavens Beyond, she had closed the defense array immediately. Li Man finally calmed down and nodded at Feng Huangmei. Then, she said to Ning Cheng with cupped fists, Greetings, Daoist Ning. Daoist Ning's cultivation technique is extraordinary, and Li Man admires you very much. She had seen Ning Cheng's strength outside the divine tomb of heaven and earth. Now that she saw Ning Cheng appear here safe and sound and had even succeeded in Dao integration, she naturally admired him. As for the third step experts from the other realms, she had not noticed them yet because their Dao runes had dissipated. Ning Cheng also guessed that Li Man and Zhong Wuchen must have experienced something since they had escaped from the Jiaoliang mountain. Furthermore, they had not returned using the normal route. Boom! The defense array of Heavens Beyond roared again. Ning Cheng told Feng Huangmei, Heaven Lord Feng, open the defense array and put this person on the Heavens Beyond square. All right. Feng Huangmei was very confident in Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng's strength was definitely more valiant than an ordinary realm integration expert's. When the defense array opened, a short figure that was only more than 1 meter tall landed on the Heavens Beyond square. The short man's gaze swept across the surroundings before landing on Zhong Wuchen. Chuckling, he said, Brat, I'll settle the score with you later for not keeping your promise. Now, tell me, where is the 7 bridges innate technique? Who is it? Ning Cheng instantly understood that the reason Zhong Wuchen had been able to return was due to this short man. Sure enough, Zhong Wuchen bowed to Ning Cheng apologetically and said, Brother Ning, I'm sorry. Previously, I succeeded in the creation realm in Heavens Beyond and casually took out the first bridge of coping. I didn't expect to alarm this person. He forced me to tell him about the 7 bridges divine art, so I could only. Ning Cheng waved his hand and his gaze landed on the short man. The short man's facial features were regular, and his hair was messy like straw. He looked like he was only at the creation realm, but his powerful Dao runes seemed to be even more powerful than Feng Xian's. He was indeed worthy of being a guy from the divine tomb of heaven and earth. Ning Cheng recalled what the person who had traded with him in the void of the slaughter realm in the divine tomb of God's Mount had said. Not everyone with a good fortune treasure was the strongest. Some people without a good fortune treasure could also dominate the universe and wouldn't be weaker than anyone else. If Xing Shi, who had chased him before, had been at the creation realm, then this short man's creation realm strength could only be compared to Xing Shi's. The 7 bridges divine art is with you? Then, you should have the 7 bridges realm book, right? Take it out and let this king have a look. The short man landed in front of Ning Cheng in one step. A creation realm expert calling himself a king was definitely a disgrace to his identity. Ning Cheng looked at the short man and said calmly, Who are you? Since you know that the 7 bridges divine art is mine, why should I show it to you? Why don't you show me your divine art? The short man frowned suddenly before nodding and saying, You're right. I have many divine arts. Which one do you want to see? Chapter 1334. Ning Cheng felt startled. He had thought that the experts who came from places like the Jiaoliang Mountains Heaven and Earth Deity Tomb would have eyes growing on their foreheads. They always spoke and acted like they were the best in the world, so why did this shorty look a little different? What spirit techniques do you have? Ning Cheng asked casually. The short man smiled, Mountain Breaker, Dark Light Domain Killer, Void Crack. There are too many, this king can't even count them. Hearing the short man list more than a dozen spirit techniques in one breath, Ning Cheng shook his head and said, there are many, but unfortunately, these spirit techniques are not as powerful as my 7 bridges. The short man stared at him, not as powerful as your 7 bridges. Why don't we compare? You can use your 7 bridges, and this king will use ordinary spirit techniques. Let's see if you can't beat the crap out of you. Ning Cheng felt sure that this shorty wasn't pretending to be mysterious, but was a real person. Rather, he was an expert with low EQ, or disdained EQ. I'm Ning Cheng. How should I address this Dao friend? Ning Cheng's tone softened. To deal with such a person, there was no need to fight head-on. This king is Xiao Xinqi. This king hates being long-winded. Bring out your 7 bridges and let this king see how it goes. This king will also let you see how powerful this king's spirit techniques are. Xiao Xinqi spoke with some impatience. Ning Cheng spoke up, is your spirit technique powerful, or is your cultivation powerful? Do you want a person who has just started cultivating to use the 7 Bridges Realm book to fight against your wind blades? Do you think your wind blades are stronger than the 7 bridges? Xiao Xinqi frowned and hesitated for a while before speaking, you're right, this king is bullying the weak. By the way, this king also knows the disaster technique. Speaking of the disaster technique, Xiao Xinqi laughed and said with a radiant face, you should know about the disaster technique. It's a branch of the destiny cultivation method. The destiny cultivation method is far more powerful than your 7 bridges, this king. Ning Cheng wondered if Xiao Xinqi knew the destiny cultivation method, so he should have thought of it first. How could he only think of the destiny cultivation method when there was no other way? But at this time, Xiao Xinqi's boasting stopped. The destiny cultivation method is indeed more powerful than my 7 bridges. Why don't you continue? Did you lie to me? Ning Cheng's face sank as he spoke. Xiao Xinqi rubbed her hair in distress. Ning Cheng knew that there was something wrong with this situation. Looking at the many onlookers around them, Ning Cheng simply smiled and spoke, Dao friend Xiao, why don't you come to my immortal cave as a guest, and we can sit down and talk about it slowly, what do you think? Yes, we should sit down and talk about it slowly. Xiao Xinqi thought of such a good idea for Ning Cheng and immediately praised him with joy. Ning Cheng felt relieved in his heart, Xiao Xinqi should not be scheming against him. This kind of person was the purest. Later on, when he went to his cave abode, he wanted to understand the situation of Jiao Liang Mountain from Xiao Xinqi. After the competition in the beyond of heaven and earth, he would go to the Jiao Liang Mountain sooner or later. Ning Cheng had a vague feeling that only the Jiao Liang Mountain could allow him to set foot on the highest peak. Moreover, it was entirely possible to rope in an expert like Xiao Xinqi. Qin Wu Tianteng, who was watching from afar, was extremely disappointed. He did not expect that the defense array, which was attacking the heavens beyond, would not fight with Ning Cheng. Moreover, this person seemed to be a straightforward person. When he met someone like Ning Cheng, he would definitely hand over the art of disaster. Not only Qin Wu Tianteng, but the experts from the other realms also had a small score in their hearts. An expert who knew the art of destiny had come here, and this person was a person who could not hide anything from them. At this moment, everyone wanted to invite Xiao Xinqi over and ask him slowly. Dao friend Xiao, I'm Mi Ruan from the 3 Elements realm. Dao friend Xiao's skills are unparalleled. If you are free, the 3 Elements realm is willing to treat you as a distinguished guest. Dao friend Xiao, I'm Liao Qianluo from the 9 Heavens realm. Dao friend Xiao, King Xiao, I heard that the Jiao Liang Mountain is a place where experts. Xiao Xinqi, who had been staring at Ning Cheng, heard someone call him King Xiao. Her eyes immediately lit up. She did not even wait for the other party to finish speaking before she interrupted him and said, yes, you're right. The Jiaoliang mountain is full of experts. What's your name? After this King and Ning Cheng talk about the important matters, I'll come to find you. This little girl is Tang Tsongyin, but I'm just a nobody. It's truly fortunate for me to gain the favor of the king. This is this little girl's communication pearl. Tang Tsongyin smiled softly while handing her communication pearl to Xiao Xinqi. The surrounding people felt that they had miscalculated. It turned out that this shorty liked people to call him king. Unfortunately, he had already left with Ning Cheng. Even if they wanted to call him king, it was too late. Everyone admired Tang Tsongyin and even envied this woman. How could the harvest not be good if one got to know an ancient expert like Xiao Xinqi? After Ning Cheng and Xiao Xinqi left, Zhong Wuchen also followed Ning Cheng. Li Man did not follow but changed direction and quickly disappeared. Your residence is not bad. This place is much better than that broken place in the heaven and earth deity's grave mound. Xiao Xinqi praised as soon as she arrived at Ning Cheng's residence. The heaven and earth deity's grave mound is a place where experts gather. How can a small place like mine compare to it? Ning Cheng said while bringing Xiao Xinqi and Zhong Wuchen to the guest hall. Ali had already come over and poured a cup of divine spirit tea for the two of them. Ning Cheng, you called this king here. Don't tell me that you want this king to teach you all the spirit powers just like those people who greeted this king just now, right? This king will say this first, we are exchanging equal value. Don't think about taking this king's spirit powers for free. Xiao Xinqi spoke before the divine spirit tea even entered her mouth. Ning Cheng almost spat out the tea in his mouth. He had always thought that Xiao Xinqi was a straightforward person who would not think too deeply about many things. He did not expect that she was blind to eat glutinous rice balls and already knew what she was doing. Of course not. I would like to ask Daoist Xiao, why did you chase after Daoist Zhong and Daoist Li, and even attack the defense array of my heavens beyond? Ning Cheng saw that Xiao Xinqi understood everything, so he simply went straight to the point. Xiao Xinqi glared at Zhong Wuchen. This guy is not trustworthy. If it weren't for this king, he would have been killed by that axe line. And that woman, this king knew that she was not a good person. Zhong Wuchen quickly apologized and then gave a simple explanation to Ning Cheng. It turned out that after Zhong Wuchen entered the creation realm, he and Li Man discovered that they could not go out of the Jiaoliang Sea. The two of them could only join forces to continue looking for opportunities in the divine tomb of heaven and earth and prepare to cultivate to a higher realm before going out. Coincidentally, Li Man and Zhong Wuchen had barged into a forbidden area. In this forbidden area, Zhong Wuchen used the bridge of helplessness to awaken Xiao Xinqi, who was recovering. When Xiao Xinqi came out, Zhong Wuchen and Li Man were facing death. Later, Zhong Wuchen promised to bring Xiao Xinqi to find the owner of the Seven Bridges Realm Book. Xiao Xinqi took Zhong Wuchen and Li Man out of the Jiaoliang mountain and tore the void to arrive at heavens beyond. Li Man knew that Ning Cheng was powerful and guessed that Ning Cheng would not take out the Seven Bridges Realm Book. Therefore, as soon as the two of them arrived at heavens beyond, Li Man sealed the defense array. After hearing Zhong Wuchen's words, Ning Cheng had a better impression of Xiao Xinqi. However, having a good impression did not mean that he would pass on the Seven Bridges divine technique. Daoist Xiao, you also know how precious the Seven Bridges divine technique is. Among the divine techniques you mentioned before, only the Destiny Cultivation Technique's Disaster Technique can barely exchange with my Seven Bridges divine technique. However, I saw that Daoist Xiao seemed to have something difficult to say. Now that there were no bystanders here, Ning Cheng asked again. Xiao Xinqi felt even more distressed. He did not want to give up the Seven Bridges divine technique. He hesitated for a long time for the second time before saying hesitantly, the Great Disaster Technique was imparted by Tao Lord Fate. It's a branch of the Destiny Cultivation Technique. When Tao Lord Fate imparted it to me, I promised that I wouldn't casually impart it to others or use it casually. Therefore, it was a slip of the tongue. In addition to the great disaster technique, I have many other divine techniques. You can choose whatever you want. This time, Xiao Xinqi did not address himself as this king. It seemed that he respected Tao Lord Fate very much. Ning Qing waved his hand and said, "I'm not so eager for divine techniques. I'll ask you a few questions. In the vast universe, there are countless cultivators. I once heard that only those with a good fortune cultivation technique can set foot on the peak, control the universe, and step into the gate of good fortune." When Xiao Xinqi heard that Ning Qing did not ask about his destiny cultivation technique, he immediately perked up. "You're right and wrong at the same time. In fact, those with a good fortune cultivation technique must have a good fortune treasure. From a certain point of view, you're already at a disadvantage. A true powerhouse does not necessarily have a good fortune treasure, such as Tao Lord Fate. She doesn't have a good fortune treasure, and her cultivation technique is derived from herself. In the Great War of the past, she killed those who had good fortune treasures. However, the owner of a good fortune treasure can immediately sense the good fortune realm and touch the gate of good fortune. Therefore, in this world, good fortune treasures are still something that countless people covet. Is Tao Lord Fate the only one who knows the destiny cultivation technique? The destiny cultivation technique is Tao Lord Fate's origin cultivation technique. She once taught it to many people, and I was fortunate enough to be taught the great disaster technique. Indeed, only Tao Lord Fate knows the true destiny cultivation technique. Then, Tao Friend Xiao, was the good fortune war caused by good fortune realm powerhouses? What's the specific reason? Ning Qing suppressed his excitement and asked about the thing he wanted to know the most. The good fortune war destroyed almost every positional plane, and even small places like the graceful star mainland had traces of it. As for the reason for the war, Ning Qing never had an answer. Xiao Xinqi shook her head. The good fortune war was not necessarily a war between good fortune realm powerhouses. If it was a war between good fortune realm powerhouses, then this vast universe would have been destroyed. To be precise, the good fortune war was a war between the powerhouses of this universe for the gate of good fortune. This kind of war did not end in one go. Ning Qing stood up and cupped his fists toward Xiao Xinqi. "Please enlighten me, Tao Friend Xiao." Although Ning Qing did not mention the Seven Bridges spirit technique, he made up his mind that once Xiao Xinqi's answer satisfied him, he would let Xiao Xinqi and Zhong Wuchen cultivate the Seven Bridges spirit technique together. Those who haven't even comprehended the gate of fortune, why would they come here to die? What Ning Qing meant was, Xiao Xinqi, you can't even comprehend the gate of good fortune, so why bother going to the heaven and earth deity graveyard? Xiao Xinqi looked at Ning Qing as if she was looking at an idiot, and only spoke up after a long while, "Your cultivation is too weak, and talking to you is too tiring. If there were no benefits, would people fight for the gate of fortune? I do not know what lies beyond the gate of fortune, but I have been listening to Tao Lord Fate's teachings this entire time. This king is unable to tell you the specifics, but this king can give you an example. Please advise me." Ning Cheng's posture was very low and did not care about Xiao Xinqi's attitude. Xiao Xinqi felt very satisfied with Ning Cheng's attitude and asked, "Have you ever heard of this person?" Ning Cheng shook his head, he had never heard of such a thing. Xiao Xinqi did not care about it, "It's normal that you have not heard of him. In fact, if one could cultivate to my level, one's lifespan would be almost endless. However, one still cannot stand eternally in the vastness like the universe. As time passes, we will still be dragged into the dust of the universe, unable to achieve true immortality and freedom. According to legend, the first person to enter the gate of fortune would have a supreme position. Let's put it this way, it would be like an emperor of a mortal world looking down on ordinary life. He would be able to look down on any laws and existences in the vast universe. As for one's own life and death, they would also be in their own hands. However, this is not the most important thing. The most important thing is that after the gate of fortune opens, there would be a few good fortune auras. Only the first person to enter the gate of fortune would be qualified to obtain the good fortune auras that transcend the laws of the universe. Seeing that Ning Cheng wanted to ask, Xiao Xinshi took the initiative to raise her hand and stop Ning Cheng from asking. This king knows what you want to ask. You want to ask why those ants with low cultivation also want to compete for the gate of fortune, right? Let this king tell you, the first person to enter the gate of fortune can obtain the first position and the good fortune aura. The second and third people can also obtain their own positions, but their positions would be slightly weaker than the first. It's just like how an emperor would have countless ministers under him. Since everyone has a position, wouldn't it be fine for those with weaker cultivation to enter later? Why would they want to die? Ning Cheng had a vague understanding of the gate of fortune, but he still wasn't very clear about it. Xiao Xinshi chuckled, enter later. After the gate of fortune opens, there is a limit to the number of positions and the time limit. If no one enters the gate of fortune after a certain amount of time, then the gate of fortune will close. Similarly, only the first person to enter can obtain the position. Those who enter later can only become ants. In the cultivation world, there is a saying that I don't know if you've heard of it, but if you don't pursue good fortune, you will always be an ant. If you don't pursue good fortune, you will always be an ant. Ning Cheng muttered to himself. For the first time, he felt the difficulty of pursuing immortality. After the first great war of fortune, did the owners of the good fortune weapons all fall? Ning Cheng asked again. In fact, the main purpose of Ning Cheng asking this question was to find out who the previous owner of the mysterious yellow bead was. Xiao Xinshi smiled a few times and spoke up with a crafty voice, this king doesn't know. Ning Cheng felt helpless and continued, I once went to the Jiaoliang mountain. I once met a powerhouse, and he told me that the powerhouses with the good fortune treasures did not actually fall. They just threw their good fortune treasures into the endless void, waiting for the fated people to perfect the good fortune treasures, and then they would come and enjoy the fruits of others' labor. Is there such a saying? Is there such a thing? This king really didn't know about it. Xiao Xinshi looked surprised. Apparently, she really didn't know about what Ning Cheng said. Dao friend Xiao, do you know how many people entered the gate of fortune after the first great war of fortune? As far as this king knows, there shouldn't be a single one. Later, the good fortune treasures were shattered, and as time passed, the gate of fortune closed. Ning Cheng didn't ask again. Xiao Xinshi definitely had a lot of things that she didn't say. It's just that the two of them didn't have much of a friendship, so it was normal for Xiao Xinshi not to say anything. He planned to wait for the sacred Dao sect master to come out of seclusion before looking for the sacred Dao sect master to discuss this matter. No matter how much hatred he had with the sacred Dao sect, in the face of the upcoming crisis, the two of them working together was the best solution. Dao friend Ning, the Seven Bridges Spirit Technique. Xiao Xinshi saw that Ning Cheng didn't ask about the Seven Bridges Spirit Technique, so she took the initiative to bring it up. Ning Cheng smiled and said, Dao friend Xiao, I don't actually have the complete Seven Bridges Spirit Technique. Let's talk about it later. Some time ago, the owner of the good fortune Azure Lotus appeared, and she was indeed very powerful. Xiao Xinshi suddenly stood up and looked at Ning Cheng in shock before asking, did you say that the owner of the good fortune Azure Lotus appeared? Where is she? Ning Cheng saw that Xiao Xinshi cared about the owner of the good fortune Azure Lotus and immediately perked up. He quickly said, she is the owner of the good fortune treasure. As for where she is, how would I know? I just want to ask, is the owner of the good fortune Azure Lotus a woman? Is she much stronger than you? Xiao Xinshi's face no longer looked casual and turned solemn. She is indeed a woman. Your comparison is completely wrong. How can an ant like me compare to her? She could pinch me to death with a finger. What's her name? Ning Cheng asked. However, Xiao Xinshi didn't fall for Ning Cheng's trick. Even her tone didn't have the imposing manner of a king. How could I know the name of such a powerhouse? Ning Cheng suddenly frowned. In his impression, Xiao Xinshi wasn't weak. Although she definitely wasn't as strong as Xing Shi wouldn't be able to pinch Xiao Xinshi to death with a finger. Was Xing Shi the original owner of the good fortune azure lotus? Thinking of this, Ning Cheng cupped his fists towards Xiao Xinshi and said, "Dao friend Xiao, I want to exchange pointers with you. I want to know your strength and whether it's worth it for me to teach you the early stages of the Seven Bridges spirit technique." The reason why Ning Cheng wanted to exchange pointers with Xiao Xinshi was to see if Xing Shi was the original owner of the good fortune azure lotus. If Xing Shi wasn't the original owner, then this woman's fate would be the same as his. She would just be used by others. Xiao Xinshi, on hearing Ning Cheng bring up the topic of the Seven Bridges spiritual technique, immediately stood up in joy and spoke, "Of course, this king has not looked for people to fight for many years, as such fighting is something this king loves the most. In that case, let's go to the void outside the heavens beyond to fight. This is where I live. Don't break my place." After Ning Cheng said that, he turned to Zhong Wuchen and said, "Dao friend Zhong, you can stay here and recuperate. After I finish with Dao friend Xiao, I'll come back and talk about the Seven Bridges." Zhong Wuchen had yet to recover from his serious injuries and the Dao runes on his body had dissipated. He had long wanted to go into seclusion to heal his injuries. Now that Ning Cheng was going to fight with Xiao Xinshi, he wouldn't go out even if he wanted to watch the show. In the void hundreds of millions of miles away from the heavens beyond, Ning Cheng said to Xiao Xinshi, who was standing opposite him, "Dao friend Xiao, please go first." Xiao Xinshi raised his hand and took out a 5-story white pagoda. His aura surged and ripples of Dao runes instantly condensed into a realm. However, he didn't make a move immediately. Instead, he chuckled and said, "You're just a small Dao integration sacred emperor, yet you want me to make a move first. That's a disgrace to my identity. You should make a move first. Use the most powerful move of your Seven Bridges spirit technique. I'll take it." Upon hearing Xiao Xinshi's words, Ning Cheng didn't stand on ceremony. The creation divine spear swept out thousands of spear patterns. The spear patterns gathered the void's killing aura and slashed at Xiao Xinshi. He was only sparring with Xiao Xinshi, so he didn't use any scheming or killing moves. He just wanted to fight head-on to see how strong Xiao Xinshi was. Then, he could determine whether Xing Shi was the original owner of the creation Green Lotus by judging Xiao Xinshi's strength. "Your Dao runes aren't bad. You can split my Dao domain protection. Look at my 5-colored divine light pagoda." Xiao Xinshi didn't care about Ning Cheng's traceless spear pattern at all. Instead of retreating, she advanced and stepped into Ning Cheng's traceless spear pattern. At the same time, the white pagoda in her hand blasted out. With his current strength, he would only be tortured by Xing Shi, and it would even be difficult for him to escape. However, he could deal with Xiao Xinshi calmly. Even if he lost in the end, he wouldn't end up in a sorry state. If they continued to fight, they would have to use all their trump cards and fight to the death. There was no deep hatred between him and Xiao Xinshi. It was just a sparring session. Since he had already tested out her strength, there was no need to continue sparring. Xiao Xinshi also felt shocked in her heart. To be honest, she really did not put Ning Cheng in her eyes at first. The only reason why he agreed to exchange pointers with Ning Cheng was because of the Seven Bridges spiritual technique. Although the two of them had only exchanged pointers for a short period of time, Xiao Xinshi had long since seen that even if Ning Cheng was not as good as her, the gap between them was still quite small. Although he did not display any of his powerful means, Ning Cheng also did not display any of them. For example, he did not see Ning Cheng use the Seven Bridges. Since Ning Cheng had the Seven Bridges spirit technique, who could be sure that he did not have other spirit techniques? What shocked him even more was that Ning Cheng was only at the early stage of Tao integration, while he was at the creation realm. The difference was not just a realm, but the difference between the second and third step. Even if he was stronger than Ning Cheng, there was nothing to boast about. It was only normal for him to suppress Ning Cheng in a flash. Daoist Ning's strength is so powerful that I can't believe it. I'm ashamed. Even if you reach the late stage or mid-stage Tao integration realm, I'm afraid I won't be your match, let alone when you reach the third step in the future. I came to heavens beyond this time because I was too arrogant. Xiao Xinqi's face was flushed, and her words once again lacked the imposing manner of a king. At the moment, there was only one voice in his heart, which was that not all powerful people were necessarily on Jiaoliang Mountain. There were also other places. For example, heavens beyond, which he did not take seriously at all, also had exceptional experts. Given Ning Cheng's current strength, what would happen once he reached the third step? Even during the first creation war, those third-step experts were probably no better than him. In other words, once Ning Cheng reached the third step, would he be an expert who could directly compete for the creation gate? At the thought of this, Xiao Xinqi immediately became excited. This was another expert who was not inferior to Tao Lord Fate. Back then, how many benefits had he obtained after following Tao Lord Fate? For Ning Cheng to be so powerful, he was either a cultivator of the most top-notch cultivation technique or the owner of a creation treasure with great luck. Ning Cheng found people like Xiao Xinqi very pleasing to the eye. He walked over and patted Xiao Xinqi's shoulder, mimicking Xiao Xinqi's tone. Daoist Xiao, in terms of strength, there is no doubt that you are stronger than me now. In the future, I will improve, and so will you. Besides, you are about to learn the 7 Bridges divine ability, which will be like adding wings to a tiger. Xiao Xinqi was immediately ecstatic. Daoist Ning, are you saying that you agreed to let me learn the 7 Bridges divine ability? After seeing Ning Cheng's strength, Xiao Xinqi had originally known that it was unrealistic for him to learn the 7 Bridges divine ability. Ning Cheng was so powerful, and the 7 Bridges divine ability might be his number 1 divine ability. How could he allow him to learn it? Did Ning Cheng mean that he would allow him to learn the 7 Bridges divine ability? Ning Cheng chuckled. I prefer Daoist Xiao to call yourself this king. It doesn't make me look like an outsider. I originally planned to pass the 7 Bridges divine ability to Zhong Wuchen. Since you saved Zhong Wuchen and told me so much, I won't lose a piece of meat if I let you learn it. After feeling surprised, Xiao Xinqi cupped her fists and bowed to Ning Cheng. Daoist Ning has such a broad mind. This king has never seen such a broad-minded person. Xiao Xinqi's words were sincere. Generally, great spirit techniques were treasured by others. Few people would take out their great spirit techniques to teach others. Not to mention a top-grade spirit technique like the 7 Bridges. The person he respected the most was Tao Lord Fate. The reason why he respected Tao Lord Fate was not because of Tao Lord Fate's strength, but because Tao Lord Fate was different from other Tao Lords. Anyone could go to her Tao field and listen to her. She even taught many people some of the top-grade spirit techniques of Tao Lord Fate's cultivation method. He himself had been taught the art of disaster. Although he rarely used the art of disaster, it saved his life every time he used it. Ning Cheng and he were not very familiar with each other, but his strength was not much weaker than his. It could be said that given Xiao Xinqi's strength, he could forget about snatching the 7 Bridges divine ability from Ning Cheng. Now that Ning Cheng was willing to teach the 7 Bridges divine ability to him, if it was not broad-minded, what was it? Ning Cheng said with a smile, Daoist Xiao, my 7 Bridges divine ability can't be taught to just anyone. Firstly, I find you pleasing to the eye. Secondly, you are familiar with the Jiaoliang Mountain and have told me a lot of precious information. There's one more thing I'd like to ask for your help with. I once offended a woman who is very powerful. I'm afraid that she will come to heavens beyond and I'm not her match alone. If you learn the 7 bridges divine ability and stay in heavens beyond, can you help me if that woman comes? Upon hearing this, Xiao Xinshi patted his chest loudly. Taoist Ning, don't worry. Coming to heavens beyond to find trouble with you is equivalent to finding trouble with this king. No matter who it is, I will definitely not sit back and watch. Ning Cheng's proposal was in line with Xiao Xinshi's thoughts. In his opinion, Ning Cheng's future achievements were absolutely immeasurable. He had been worried about not having a chance to follow Ning Cheng. Now that Ning Cheng had offered to help, he could stay by Ning Cheng's side. This was because he had concealed one thing from Ning Cheng. During the creation war, no third-step experts would be spared. He had previously told Ning Cheng that the creation war was only a battle for positions. He was right. After the Gate of Fortune opened, the number of slots was limited. In fact, there was a more important reason. Once the creation war began, as long as one entered the 3rd step, regardless of whether one was a great Tao, small Tao, true Tao, or pseudo-Tao, one would have to fight for it. If one fought for it, one would have a chance of survival. If one did not fight for it, one would only experience endless decline and die. After the creation gate opened, endless vast Tao rune laws would spread throughout the void of the entire universe. Countless people would directly comprehend the 3rd step and enter the creation realm because of these vast laws. After reaching the creation realm, one had to rush to the creation gate in the shortest time possible and fight for it. If one did not fight, one would still die no matter how much one avoided it. No one could stop the terrifying great decline of the universe. Instead of experiencing decline and death, it was better to fight for that slim chance of survival. This was also why so many people went to their deaths during the creation war. Therefore, the true decline of the experts began with the decline of the creation realm. This was also the reason why those who did not enter the creation realm were all ants. His intuition told him that the 2nd creation war was coming. When that time came, countless ants would turn into cannon fodder. He, Xiao Xinshi, had to hold on to a thick thigh to have a chance of survival. In his opinion, Ning Cheng was this thick thigh. With the help of a peerless expert, he would have a better chance of survival. Since he had made up his mind to hold on to Ning Cheng, Xiao Xinshi decided to tell Ning Cheng everything he knew about the creation war. Taoist Ning, I still have something to hide from you. It's about the creation war. Xiao Xinshi had just finished speaking when a burst of Tao rune fluctuations came from the void in the distance. Ning Cheng's expression suddenly changed when he felt the fluctuations. His figure flashed, and he immediately flew over. Xiao Xinshi wanted to hold on to Ning Cheng's thick thigh, so he naturally followed him without hesitation. Ning Cheng hadn't even reached the battlefield when he brought out the creation divine spear. Boom! Ning Cheng's creation divine spear blocked a water column, and the Tao rune in the water column was directly shattered by the creation divine spear, saving a brown-robed man under the water column. Who are you? Why are you standing in the way of my dragon clan? The man who brought out the water column stared at Ning Cheng and asked sternly. He could feel that Ning Cheng was not an ordinary person. Although his words were sharp, he did not make a move. Big brother. The brown-robed man called out in surprise when he saw Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng smiled and ignored the guy who brought out the water column. Instead, he looked at the brown-robed man and asked, Ao Kan, why are you here? Chapter 1337. This brown-robed man was Ao Kan. After Ao Kan arrived in the Great Simplicity realm, he had been cultivating in the Great Simplicity Mountain to observe mourning for his mother. Although Ao Kan was born into the 5-clawed Divine Dragon clan, he was useless because he only had 4 claws at birth. This was tantamount to losing the face of the 5-clawed Divine Dragon clan, which eventually led to him being kicked out of the clan. Even his mother was killed because of the innate dragon pearl in order to save him. When Ning Cheng saw Ao Kan here, he knew that Ao Kan must have gone to heavens beyond to look for him. Big brother, I went to look for you, but I didn't expect to meet this shameless thing. He asked me for the innate dragon bead. The innate dragon bead is a relic left behind by my mother. Big brother doesn't want it from me, so why should I give it to this scum? Aoken pointed at a man blocked by Ning Cheng and spoke out in anger. Ning Cheng felt a little speechless. Aoken spoke as if he liked other people's things the most. Not wanting Aoken's innate dragon pearl was a great thing. However, Ning Cheng guessed who this innate dragon clan guy was. Looking at his water-attributed Dao runes, he should be from the five-clawed divine dragon clan. His cultivation level seemed similar to Aoken's, but Aoken was clearly not this person's opponent in the battle just now. Who are you? Why are you interfering in my dragon clan's affairs? The man opposite to him repeated his words when he saw that Ning Cheng did not answer him. Ning Cheng looked at the man with his hands behind his back and said in a cold tone, "Get out of here before I get angry. The next time I see you attacking my brother, you won't have the chance to get out." The man's face turned blue. "Daoist friend, you must meddle in my dragon clan's affairs. Kid, I told you to get out. Didn't you hear me?" Xiao Xinshi, who had rushed over, said angrily, "If you dare to stay here, this king will slap you to death. The five-clawed dragon clan is nothing. This king can slap a bunch of them to death." When the man saw this situation, he knew that he would only be humiliated if he stayed here today. He snorted and turned into a water line before disappearing. Ning Cheng did not stop this guy. After all, this guy was from the same clan as Aoken. "Aoken, since you're here, let's go together." Ning Cheng was about to invite Aoken to go to heavens beyond when he saw Aoken clench his fists and look at the disappearing water line. "Are you okay?" Ning Cheng patted Aoken's shoulder. Aoken took a deep breath and spoke to Ning Cheng, "Big brother, I want to go to the five-clawed divine dragon clan. Even if I know that I will die, I still want to go." Ning Cheng asked in doubt, "Why?" Aoken said word by word, "I only found out today that the people who snatched the Khanate dragon pearl back then were the scum of the dragon clan. My mother was also killed by someone from the dragon clan. All these years, I've been wondering how others knew about my mother's innate dragon bloodline. So it's a mole." Ning Cheng gave out a sigh and spoke, "But with your strength, if you went to the five-clawed dragon clan, I'm afraid that it would be the same as courting death." Aoken looked at the void in the distance and fell silent for a while before he said, "If I still had potential and could cultivate to a higher realm, I would definitely endure it and take revenge after I reached the third step. However, I am very clear that I have already reached the pinnacle by cultivating to this realm. I won't be able to advance any further. As a son, my mother died because of me, but I'm still alive. It's a kind of torture for me. It's a life worse than death. I didn't know who killed my mother before, so I could only endure it. Now that I know who the enemy is, if I don't take revenge, how can I have the face to live in this world?" After that, Aoken bowed to Ning Cheng and said, "Big brother, the news about the heavens beyond of heaven and earth has spread everywhere. I came here to help you, big brother. Now, I can only let you down. Aoken will repay big brother's life-saving grace in the next life." "Good. This king likes people like you. You have guts." Xiao Xinshi gave him a thumbs up in appreciation. Aoken looked at Xiao Xinshi in confusion. Xiao Xinshi was not tall, so it didn't matter. As a member of the dragon clan, he never cared about a person's appearance. Instead, he knew how powerful big brother Ning Cheng was. If he wasn't powerful, he wouldn't have been able to scare Ao Fei away with a spear. How dare Xiao Xinshi call herself a king in front of big brother Ning Cheng? However, he really couldn't see through Xiao Xinshi's strength. Ning Cheng frowned. He knew that Xiao Xinshi was courting death, but he still wanted to go. He couldn't persuade her. He couldn't let her not avenge her mother. Thinking of this, Ning Cheng decided to accompany Aoken. Even if his dragon cleansing pool took shape again, it probably wouldn't be able to turn Ao Kan into a five-clawed divine dragon. Since they were friends, Ao Kan's matters were his matters. Just as Ning Cheng was about to speak, Xiao Xinqi suddenly said with a smile, Ao Kan, who told you that a five-clawed divine dragon can't reach the third step without its fifth claw? Who told you that four claws can't become five claws? Ah! When Ao Kan heard Xiao Xinqi's words and saw her extremely confident expression, he immediately understood what was going on. He quickly bowed and said, Senior, please advise me. Xiao Xinqi waved her hand. You have to call me King Xiao. I'm a friend of your big brother. I'm not a senior. Ao Kan didn't know what the relationship between King Xiao and Ning Cheng was, so he quickly said, Ao Kan, please advise me, King Xiao. Xiao Xinqi nodded. I have two ways. First, you can reach the third step without having five claws. Second, I have a way to make you have five claws. Which one do you choose? When Ao Kan heard Xiao Xinqi's words, he almost trembled with excitement. He quickly looked at Ning Cheng and asked, Big brother, what do you think I should choose? He naturally longed to transform into five claws and let everyone in the five-clawed divine dragon clan see that he, Ao Kan, wasn't a waste. He, Ao Kan, should never be abandoned. Ning Cheng didn't directly answer Ao Kan's words. Instead, he asked, Dao friend Xiao, which of the two methods takes longer and is more troublesome? Which one will have greater achievements in the end? Xiao Xinqi chuckled. That's because both methods require the same thing. In terms of future achievements, there's no difference. When Ning Cheng heard this explanation, he said to Ao Kan, Brother Ao Kan, since there is no difference, then if I had to choose, I wouldn't choose to transform into five claws and reach the third step. Since I was born with four claws, then I will use my four claws to prove that without five claws, I can still stand at the top. There is a saying in my hometown, even if there are millions of people, I will still go forward. Cultivating the Tao is also about cultivating the heart Tao. Don't be ashamed of your own ugliness, don't be ashamed of your own stupidity, and don't retreat because of your own weakness. Dao friend Xiao isn't tall enough, but do you feel any dissatisfaction with his own height? He only has the aura of a powerhouse, which is the Tao. Ao Kan clenched his fists. Ning Cheng's words ignited a flame in his heart. So what if he had four claws? With four claws, he could still stand at the peak. Thank you for your teachings, big brother. Ao Kan understands. Ao Kan's tone no longer had the discouragement of death. Apart from Ning Cheng saving him, he appreciated this kind of momentum the most. Whether it was in the heavens beyond of mysterious yellow or back in the grand essence realm. It was this kind of powerful momentum and confidence. Otherwise, he wouldn't have become the Tao Lord of the Grand Essence realm. Since he chose to follow Ning Cheng, he had to learn this kind of momentum and courage. At this time, he not only wanted to learn Ning Cheng's indomitable momentum but also his perseverance and indomitable faith. So what if I'm ugly? So what if I'm stupid? So what if I'm weak? These are just innate qualities. I still have to work hard. When I stand at the peak, those who say that I'm ugly, stupid, and weak will see who's ugly, stupid, and weak. Ugly, stupid, and weak, those are adjectives for losers, not for winners. King Xiao, please teach me the way to reach the third step of Tao confirming with four claws. Ao Kan has already decided. After Ao Kan understood these principles, he bowed to Xiao Xinqi. Xiao Xinqi sighed and said to Ning Cheng, listening to Dao friend Ning's words is better than going into seclusion. Although this Xiao has never cared about my height, I learned the true meaning from Dao friend Ning. Ning Cheng smiled, since that is the case, then Dao friend Xiao can tell me about the place to look for something. There's still some time before the mysterious yellow heavens beyond heaven grand competition, and Dao friend Zhong Wuchen has also recovered his Dao charm for a while. Since I'm free, I can accompany Brother Ao can." Xiao Xinshi smiled proudly. "Not many people know about this place. I happen to know that it's called the Black Water Realm." Xiao Xinshi had just finished speaking when Ao can interrupted her in surprise. "Is King Xiao talking about the Nirvana Dao Dragon Scale Sand?" Hearing Ao Kan's words, Xiao Xinshi was slightly startled. Then, she said with relief, "By the way, you're from the Five-Clawed Dragon clan, so you naturally know what the Nirvana Dao Dragon Scale Sand is." Ning Cheng asked in doubt, "Ao Kan, since you know about the Nirvana Dao Dragon Scale Sand, why didn't you say it?" Ao Kan quickly said, "Of course I know about the Nirvana Dao Dragon Scale Sand. It's the most precious treasure of the Dragon Clan, and each one is a priceless treasure. This treasure can make any disciple from the Dragon Clan have a heaven-defying improvement in aptitude and perception. Because this thing only exists in the Black Water Realm, and it's shaped like a dragon scale, it got its name. Even the most ordinary dragon can turn into a divine dragon with a Nirvana Dao Dragon Scale Sand. Even the dragon with the worst aptitude can grow to a very high realm with this. A four-clawed divine dragon can use the Nirvana Dao Dragon Scale Sand to transform its fifth claw, which is indeed as simple as eating and breathing." After explaining, Ao Kan sighed again and said, "It's just that the Black Water Realm is extremely terrifying. Few people can come out after entering it. But that's not all. More importantly, the Black Water Realm is constantly changing its position within the vast void. It's a domain star with a constant flow, and there are very few people who have the opportunity to enter the Black Water Realm." Ning Cheng suddenly frowned. He didn't care about the danger. But finding the Black Water Realm was the most important thing right now. If he couldn't even find the Black Water Realm, how could he find the Nirvana Dao Dragon Scale Sand? Seeing Ning Cheng looking at her, Xiao Xinshi calmly said, "I still have to thank Ao Kan. Fortunately, he reminded me. The Black Water Realm is indeed ever-changing, and it's also a planetary domain with an unstable orbit. But I happen to know the approximate location of the Black Water Realm during this period of time. Let's go, we're going to make a fortune." The Nirvana Dao Dragon Scale Sand isn't only useful for the Dragon Clan. Chapter 1338. The starry sky will tore through the void and quickly left heavens beyond with Ning Cheng, Xiao Xinshi, and Ao Kan. Since the Blackwater Realm would not appear in the Jiaoyang Realm, the three of them returned to heavens beyond and left through another teleportation gate. This was much simpler than tearing the void plane directly. The starry sky will's artifact spirit was in a corner of the Jiaoyang Realm. Ning Cheng could only suppress the idea of finding the artifact spirit and help Ao Kan find the Nirvana Dao Dragon Scale Sand first. Ning Cheng also needed the Nirvana Dao Dragon Scale Sand. Although the mysterious fairy ancient clan was not part of the Dragon Clan, the Nirvana Dao Dragon Scale Sand was useful. Li Feng had yet to merge his Dao. Apart from the broken Great Simplicity Realm, another reason was his limited aptitude. The Nirvana Dao Dragon Scale Sand had an unparalleled effect on improving the aptitude of water attribute cultivators. 8 out of 10 people in the mysterious fairy ancient clan cultivated water attribute cultivation techniques. Xiao Xinshi had already said that he had a way to get to the Blackwater Realm. Heavens Beyond was a place where countless planes intersected, and the sacred Dao world was naturally one of them. Compared to the dilapidated sacred Dao world, the current sacred Dao world was prosperous. The heaven-earth law was complete, and the divine spirit Qi was extremely rich. It was far from comparable to the broken 5 great realms. The most magnificent place in the sacred Dao world was naturally the sacred Dao sect. When the sacred Dao sect was perfected, the entire world had mobilized. Those with power contributed, and those with resources contributed. In the sacred Dao world, the best disciples of any sect could enter the sacred Dao sect through the assessment. The sacred Dao sect was not just a sect but a symbol of a world. After all, everyone was qualified to enter the sacred Dao sect. The largest square in the sacred Dao world was the sacred Dao sect square. At this time, the sacred Tao sect square was packed with people, all of them excited and excited. A young man stood on the high platform above the square and shouted excitedly, "The sacred Tao sect master is back. He's now in seclusion in heavens beyond. Let me tell you another piece of good news. The sect master has successfully reached Tao integration. As soon as he returned, he taught a few experts who are a level higher than Tao integration. Those bastards even dared to attack the sacred Tao sect's encampment in heavens beyond. They had a death wish. Where did this bastard come from? How dare he attack the sacred path sect's territory? Is he tired of living? It's a good thing that sect leader returned in time. We have to work hard too and strive to go to the beyond of heaven and earth as soon as possible. That can't be right. I heard that the person who killed the experts who attacked the sacred Tao sect's encampment wasn't our sect master, but someone else, other than our sect master. Who else would have such capabilities? Don't spout nonsense. I really did hear that it was another person. He seemed to be called Ning Cheng, junior sect master. The cultivator who was talking about the other person suddenly stopped, bowed, and called out. Standing beside this cultivator were two women. One wore a blue dress and the other wore a light green floral dress. When the surrounding people saw this woman, they immediately stopped making noise and quietened down. The young man on the stage also hurriedly flew down and came in front of the two women. He cupped his fists and said, "Mang Tsang greets young sect master Yimo." The blue-robed woman smiled, "Everyone, don't mind me. I just came out of seclusion. By the way, Mang Tsang, did you just say that my father is back?" The man called Mang Tsang hurriedly replied, "Yes, the sect master is in seclusion at the beyond of heaven and earth. I just heard about it." The blue-robed woman looked excited for a moment before she immediately said, "Thank you very much. I'll go and ask the deputy sect master." Wait. The woman standing behind the blue-robed woman stopped another cultivator and asked in a trembling voice, "You just said that there's a person called Ning Cheng in the beyond of heaven and earth?" Although the person asking the question had a very weak cultivation level, he was following behind the junior sect master. Thus, the cultivator hurriedly bowed and answered, "That's right, fairy. However, I only heard about it. Muwen, let's go in first." The blue-robed woman could clearly tell that the person speaking did not know much. Thus, she quickly pulled the blue-robed woman around the square and left quickly. The blue-robed woman was Tian Muwen, who had come from Earth just like Ning Cheng. The blue-robed woman was called Yi Yimo, the daughter of the sacred Tao sect master Yi Mo. "Sister, I want to go to the beyond of heaven and earth to see him," Tian Muwen said hesitantly after the two of them left the square. Yimo fell silent and said after a while, "Muwen, are you still worried? Sometimes, some things really can't be forced." She subconsciously stopped talking. She thought of the person who had faced the endless terrifying worms by the blood river. He had risked his life to save her and had faced the endless terrifying worms alone. She remembered that when her clothes were ruined, it was that person who saw it and carried her to escape with him. She also thought of what she had said before she had left. "Ning Cheng, I owe you." She had not repaid what she owed him, yet he had risked his life to save her again in the fallen wood temple. She shook her head hard, trying to dispel these thoughts. However, he had saved her several times, yet she had not repaid him even once. How could she dispel these thoughts? It was no wonder that Muwen could not forget such a person. She could not forget such a person after knowing him. However, she had to forget. No, she had to remember this person's kindness and not think of anything else. No matter what happened between him and Muwen, Muwen was still her best sister. She absolutely could not think about things that she should not think about. She sighed faintly in her heart. When she had been persuading Muwen, had Muwen known that she was thinking about the same person? This person had saved her several times, but he had also destroyed Huang Ping. She had not expected that he would still be in heavens beyond. If he had also saved the sacred Tao sect's encampment, then the sacred Tao sect would owe him another favor. By the way, would Daddy fight with him because of Huang Ping when he went to heavens beyond? What would she do if they fought? That shouldn't be the case. Daddy was the most reasonable and always told them what they should and shouldn't do. At that moment, she suddenly hated the saintess called Mi Yun. Any outstanding person could enter the sacred Tao sect. Mi Yun's aptitude might be outstanding, but even Auntie Su didn't like her character. That woman should not have taken Huang Ping to heavens beyond. Tian Muan shook her head. I don't know. I just wanted to see him. I didn't think about anything else. Sister, have you ever thought about someone alone? Yimo was stunned. The thoughts that she had just forcibly dispelled came to her mind again. She shook her head hard and wanted to let go of these things. She kept telling herself that she wanted to go to heavens beyond to see Daddy and had nothing to do with that person. Auntie, I want to go to heavens beyond with you. A slightly hoarse young man's voice was heard. Yimo turned around and saw Yi Huangping and Luo Qinghe walking past. She ignored Yi Huangping and said to Luo Qinghe, Big brother Qinghe, I just came out of seclusion and heard that my father had returned to heavens beyond. I want to go there. After Tian Muan bowed to Luo Qinghe, she stood a little further away. Yi Huangping's wolf-like gaze made her feel uncomfortable. Fortunately, someone had crippled this bastard in heavens beyond. Otherwise, she was afraid that she would not have been able to stay in the sacred Tao sect. She did not know that it was Ning Cheng who had crippled Yi Huangping. Luo Qinghe glanced at Yi Huangping with some embarrassment. He really could not stand Yi Huangping's harassment. When he found out that Yimo had come out of seclusion, he had brought Yi Huangping along. Yimo glanced at Yi Huangping in disgust. Yi Huangping's behavior was partly due to Mi Yun's influence, but it was also related to his own nature. I won't take you to heavens beyond. From now on, I will never allow you to make such a request again. For you, the best way is to live your life peacefully and not harm others. Don't think that I don't know how many bad things you've done in the years I wasn't in the sacred Tao sect. If it wasn't for Xiao Bao, I would have slapped you to death. Yimo's tone was very cold. Yi Huangping's face immediately turned black. He snorted and turned to leave without even saying goodbye. He had been very afraid of this ant before, but now that he had nothing to fear. Luo Qinghe wanted to chase after her, but Yimo stopped him and said, Big brother Qinghe, you have a lot of things to do every day. Don't waste your time on this trash. Luo Qinghe sighed, nodded, and did not say anything. Although Yi Huangping was crippled, there were too many good elixirs in the sacred Tao sect. He could not cultivate now, but his strength was around the Golden Core realm. As long as he did not leave the sacred Tao sect, his safety would not be a problem. Bitch, am I, Yi Huangping, a bastard? Am I not a member of the Yi family? It's fine if you don't let me touch a woman with a lowly cultivation level, but you stop me when I go to find my grandfather to restore my foundation. I, Yi Huangping, don't believe that I can't live without you. Yi Huangping walked quickly, not even caring about the direction in which he was going back. In the sacred Tao sect, no one was willing to talk to Yi Huangping. Upon seeing Yi Huangping come over, the sacred Tao sect disciples either pretended not to see him or circled to the side. Even the disciples guarding the defense array bowed to the side when they saw Yi Huangping come over. They did not have any intention of stopping him. No, this was already far away from the sect. After walking far away from the divine Tao sect, Yi Huangping finally came back to his senses. His mind was much clearer. Even though he had never wandered the sacred Tao world alone, he knew very well that he, Yi Huangping, was really nothing after leaving the sacred Tao sect. Perhaps if he left today, he would be dead in the wilderness tomorrow. I, Yi Huangping, will one day stand at a place that everyone looks up to. Today, I'll take this. Yi Huangping gritted his teeth and still didn't dare to go out. He was going back to the sect first. Your surname is Yi too? An abrupt voice appeared beside Yi Huangping. Yi Huangping raised his head and found that a person had appeared in front of him without him noticing. Who are you? Of course my surname is Yi. The divine Tao sect leader Yi Mo is my grandfather. Yi Huangping took 2 steps back and said. As he spoke, he studied this person. This person wore yellow robes and had slightly dark skin. After studying him, he found that this person looked a little like his auntie Yi Ling. The man smiled, because my surname is Yi too, I'm Yi Zifeng. Your grandpa is Yi Mo, have you heard of my name? Chapter 1339. Ning Cheng, Xiao Xinshi, and Ao Kan stood in the endless void. The void in front of them was like black fog rolling, forming vortexes and ripples. King Xiao, this place is very empty. There's nothing here. Ao Kan looked at Xiao Xinshi suspiciously. Xiao Xinshi chuckled. If there was everything, then it would be too easy to obtain the Nirvana Dao Dragon Scale Sand. I'm sure I'm not wrong. The Blackwater realm will appear in this realm soon. There is only one thing you have to do, and that is to trust me and wait here with me. Ao Kan nodded. I trust you, King Xiao. Along the way, he had been shocked by Xiao Xinshi's various profound insights. After knowing that Xiao Xinshi had participated in the first creation war, he had become even more respectful of him. Ning Cheng raised his hand, took out a stone chair, sat down, and asked casually, Old Xiao, you said that there was something you didn't tell me about the creation war. What is it? Xiao Xinshi did not dare to be as careless with Ning Cheng as he was with Ao Kan. Ning Cheng was a creation expert whom he thought highly of, so he wanted to follow Ning Cheng into the creation gate. Now that Ning Cheng asked, he hurriedly told Ning Cheng everything he had not told him before without hiding anything. Ning Cheng frowned immediately. Old Xiao, do you mean that as long as the creation gate opens, countless third-step experts will appear? Furthermore, these third-step experts still have to fight for the creation gate. If that was the case, Ning Cheng completely understood why there were so many skeletons on Jiaoliang Mountain and why so many experts had perished there. He also understood why, after the first creation war, there were very few third-step experts in the vast universe, apart from the broken realms. Even if there were a few ugly ones, they were all fake realms or fake realms. Xiao Xinshi nodded slightly. Yes, I promise I'm not talking nonsense. According to what I sensed on Jiaoliang Mountain, the second creation war should be happening soon. You have been to Jiaoliang Mountain, so you should know how many experts' principal spirits are hidden there. This is because the location of the first creation gate was on Jiaoliang Mountain. The place that opened is now called the Slaughter Realm, which I have never entered. If you can enter the Slaughter World, you will discover that the experts that have fallen there are much more and stronger than those on the tomb of the gods of heaven and earth. Ao Kan, who was confused, asked, King Xiao, are you saying that even if I don't look for the Nirvana Dao Dragon Scale Sand now, when the Gate of Fortune opens, the vast nomological Dao runes will allow me to step into the creation realm? Xiao Xinshi nodded. You're right. You have no idea how powerful the vast and majestic heaven-earth aura and the pure Dao runes of the Grand Dao are when the creation gate opens. Even an early-stage Dao integration Holy Emperor could directly break through to the creation realm with that kind of Dao rune erosion, let alone someone who was almost at the perfected Dao integration realm. When the Gate of Fortune opened for the first time, countless Dao integration stage Holy Emperors were born, allowing them to progress to the creation stage. However, they were all cannon fodder in the end. Therefore, if the second creation war starts now, you will also be cannon fodder. The third step that was washed out by the creation great Dao was also a death warrant. Similarly, the vast and majestic Dao rune aura caused the divine spirit herbs and Dao fruits in the entire endless universe to grow rapidly. This is also why so many people in the vast universe were able to succeed in Dao integration after the Gate of Fortune closed and the heaven-earth law was broken. When they talked about the impending arrival of the second creation war, even Xiao Xinshi lost interest in continuing to speak. The three of them simply cultivated while waiting. All kinds of storms and spatial blade flares swept over from the void. Fortunately, Ning Cheng's defense array prevented the three of them from worrying about these things. After waiting for a few months, even Ning Cheng did not want to wait any longer. Suddenly, even more violent void cracks and storms swept over. The tough defense array that Ning Cheng had set up was torn to pieces by this powerful storm aura. A huge black shadow turned rapidly from afar. Xiao Xinshi was the first to stand up and say excitedly, "The Blackwater Star territory is about to pass through here. Everyone, get ready. It won't take long for the Blackwater Star territory to pass through here. Don't miss this opportunity. Also, after entering the Blackwater Star territory, you must protect yourself." Even without Xiao Xinshi's reminder, Ning Cheng and Ao Kan had already prepared themselves. When the huge shadow domain, which almost obscured their spiritual consciousness, appeared closest to the three of them, Xiao Xinshi was the first to rush in. Ning Cheng and Ao Kan also didn't stop and rushed in behind her. A few void dislocation cracks swept past Ning Cheng, causing Ning Cheng to jump. Even if he encountered such a void crack, his corporeal body would most likely collapse. When they rushed into the Blackwater Star territory, they felt an extremely strong gravitational force, which was tens of thousands of times stronger than the gravity on Earth. Fortunately, the Ning Cheng trio were all powerhouses. Otherwise, this gravitational force would have turned the three of them into a blood mist. Before they landed on the ground, Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness saw black seawater without any land. At this moment, Xiao Xinshi's voice arrived, "Don't fall into the black water. Otherwise, you might die from the poison. This black water is extremely toxic and has a strong compression ability. It's not good to fall in without preparation." Ning Cheng secretly scolded Xiao Xinshi for being unreliable. She didn't even mention such an important thing in advance. Despite the increasing gravitational force, Ning Cheng still turned around and landed on a piece of land with a radius of only a few dozen feet. The place where he landed was extremely hard, without even the slightest bit of soil. It was as dark as the black seawater in front of him. A moment later, Xiao Xinshi and Ao Kan also landed on the piece of land where Ning Cheng was. Ning Cheng was just about to speak when he suddenly saw a black shadow fall from the void and rush directly into the black seawater. After this figure rushed into the black seawater, there wasn't even a ripple in it before it returned to its original state. I didn't expect that apart from the three of us, someone else would also come here to look for the Nirvana Dao Dragon Scale Sand. Xiao Xinshi looked at the disappearing black shadow and smiled. "King Xiao, what should we do now?" Ao Kan asked. Xiao Xinshi said, "The Nirvana Dao Dragon Scale Sand is very difficult to find. The three of us will naturally split up. After half a year, we will still gather here. If it takes too long, I'm afraid we won't be able to find the way back to heavens beyond." After saying that, Xiao Xinshi took out 2 white talismans and handed them to Ning Cheng and Ao Kan. "This is my treasure, something refined by Fu Lai. One for each of you. After entering the Black Water Sea, you can use this talisman to protect yourself. Remember, once this talisman turns completely black, you must rush out of the Black Water Sea within 3 breaths. Otherwise, you will suffer." After saying that, Xiao Xinshi's body turned into a shadow line and directly plunged into the black water, just like the person who rushed into it. Fu Lai. Ning Cheng suddenly remembered that he had heard of this person before. "Big brother, I'm going in too." After Ao Kan said that, he brought out the talisman and turned into a white shadow as he rushed into the black water. Ning Cheng did not hesitate and also brought out the talisman and rushed into the black water. After entering the black water, Ning Cheng understood the function of the talisman. The talisman transformed into a white shield, protecting his entire body within it. The black seawater outside painted the outermost layer of the white shield black, but the black could not penetrate it. Not only was it unable to penetrate the barrier, but the pressure from the black water was also unable to deform the white barrier in the slightest. This talisman did not require Ning Cheng to use his spirit essence, nor did it require Ning Cheng to use his spiritual consciousness. As long as Ning Cheng used his spiritual consciousness to search for the Nirvana Tao Dragon Scale Sand, he would be able to find it easily. Ning Cheng gave a dark sigh in his heart. This Fu Lai was really too strong. To be able to refine this kind of talisman, it seems that this talisman was just an ordinary thing to him. As Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness seeped out, he finally understood why Xiao Xinqi said that the black water in this place was highly toxic. This black water could even corrode his spiritual consciousness. Although his sea of consciousness was a starry sky sea of consciousness, even with such a powerful spiritual consciousness, it could only penetrate a few miles. It was conceivable that Ao Kan's spiritual sense could only cover a radius of around a kilometer. Moreover, he had to rest constantly. If he had known this would happen, he would have thrown some Empyrean consciousness transmutation pills to Ao Kan. These things were useful here. A few miles was naturally not Ning Cheng's limit. Although the black water corroded one's spiritual consciousness, Ning Cheng still managed to forcibly extend his spiritual consciousness with the help of his starry sky sea of consciousness and his spiritual consciousness quenching. Ning Cheng had gone to many places that hindered his spiritual consciousness, and his spiritual consciousness had also tempered under all kinds of obstacles. Even in a place like the perpetual moon abyss, his spiritual consciousness could sweep out. Ning Cheng continued to search while tempering his spiritual consciousness. Occasionally, he would swallow a few Empyrean consciousness transmutation pills. Although the Empyrean consciousness transmutation pills had little effect on his current spiritual consciousness quenching, it could help him restore his spiritual consciousness. In just a few days, Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness had already extended to a distance of 100 miles. Unfortunately, although his spiritual consciousness could expand quickly, he could not make any progress in searching for the Nirvana Tao Dragon Scale Sand. The bottom of the black water was rugged and uneven. Apart from a variety of dead coral reefs and some fish fossils, he did not see a single piece of Nirvana Tao Dragon Scale Sand. No wonder the Nirvana Tao Dragon Scale Sand was so precious. It was truly difficult to find sand in this boundless black water sea. Was there something wrong with the method he was looking for? Although his spiritual consciousness could sweep out anything within 100 miles. But who could be sure that the Nirvana Tao Dragon Scale Sand lay at the bottom of the black water, waiting for him to pick it up? Thinking of this, Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness shrank a bit and began to penetrate the soil of this black water sea. Although it was soil, the black water's seabed was harder than steel. Even if Ning Cheng wanted to expand his search range, his spiritual consciousness could only penetrate about a meter below. Sure enough, after Ning Cheng changed his method, in just 2 days, he caught a trace of Law Dao charm fluctuations. Since entering the black water world, Ning Cheng had never felt any Law Dao charm fluctuations. At this moment, sensing the Law Dao charm fluctuations, Ning Cheng immediately understood that even if this wasn't the Nirvana Tao Dragon Scale Sand, it definitely had something to do with treasures. Chapter 1340. Ning Cheng took a step forward, and the talisman's protective shield immediately covered the place where the Dao charm fluctuations came from. But before Ning Cheng could dig up the hard part below, a burst of fluctuations came from outside the talisman. Seeing that someone had come over, Ning Cheng quickly raised his hand and grabbed it. When he raised his hand again, there was a black sandstone the size of a longan in his palm. To be precise, it was the size of a longan, but it had the same shape as a dragon scale. It was not an exaggeration to say that it was an infinitely shrunken dragon scale. A vast and majestic aura of heaven and earth came from it, as if this dragon scale sand contained endless things. As long as one could comprehend it, whether it was cultivation or spirit techniques, one would be able to advance further. Give it to me. A powerful aura emerged, followed by a voice reaching Ning Cheng's ears. But before Ning Cheng could put away the Nirvana Dao Dragon Scale Sand, a huge fist the size of a dustpan came crashing over. Even if this was the seabed of the black water, even if the pressure of the black water here was enough to squeeze a low-rank spirit artifact into a thin piece of paper, this punch still blasted through all obstacles. In front of this punch, the black water automatically separated, as if it was cut by a machine, neatly as if it was cut by a knife. Gotcha! With a sound, Ning Cheng's protective talisman directly turned into nothingness under this squeezing force. Ning Cheng brought out the Good Fortune Spirit Spear to block this punch. At the same time, the dark consciousness storm transformed into a new protective domain around his body. The talisman given to him by Xiao Xinshi was good, but it could only block the erosion of the black water. It couldn't block the bombardment of such a powerful external force. After all, it was an auxiliary talisman, not a protective talisman. Although Ning Cheng used the dark consciousness storm to extend a new protective domain, he also prepared to retreat at any time. According to the repeated tempering of his spiritual consciousness in the black water over the past few days, he estimated that his spiritual consciousness shield should be able to block the erosion of the black water. Boom! The Dao charm exploded, and the surrounding black water exploded, forming a vacuum zone with a radius of more than 10 miles. When the Dao charm dissipated, the black water rushed over again. However, the two Dao charm domains blocked the black water and couldn't penetrate. Ning Cheng was overjoyed in his heart. His spiritual consciousness shield really was able to block out the black water that had seeped in. As long as his spiritual sense existed, he would not have to worry about being corroded by the black water at the bottom of the black water. At this time, Ning Cheng finally had the time to observe the person in front of him. This person wore black robes, and did not have any protective magical weapons around him. As such, the black water was directly blocked by his domain and could not penetrate even a little bit. In terms of cultivation, his strength should be at Xiao Xinshi's level. Ning Cheng was able to block this blow, and even after the protective shield shattered, he was still safe and sound. This black-robed man realized that Ning Cheng's strength was very strong. He could not understand why Ning Cheng had such a protective domain, and why did he use such a precious talisman. You are very strong. The black-robed man on seeing Ning Cheng put away the Nirvana Dao Dragon Scale Sand calmly spoke up. Ning Cheng shook the Good Fortune Spirit Spear in his hand and spoke up with a calm voice, whether I'm strong or not is another matter. Since you broke my precious talisman, shouldn't you talk about compensation? By the way, my talisman was refined by Fu Lai. The black-robed man spoke up without any care. Your talisman will be corroded by the black water sooner or later. You are very strong, so I want to invite you to make a deal. If we succeed, each of us can get at least a dozen pieces of Nirvana Dao Dragon Scale Sand, and even other treasures. What deal? Ning Cheng, attracted by the other party's words, subconsciously asked. The black-robed man smiled and spoke, I've been here for many years and found a place that definitely has a secret immortal cave. Think about it, to be able to build an immortal cave at the bottom of the Blackwater River, one would naturally be a powerhouse among powerhouses. Unfortunately, I can't enter that immortal cave alone. If you are willing to join hands with me, we can split the things inside 30 to 70. You've been here for many years. Weren't you the person who entered the Blackwater Sea a dozen days ago? Ning Cheng asked in doubt. He thought that the black-robed man in front of him was the same person he and Xiao Xinshi saw a dozen days ago. The black-robed man frowned, and after a while spoke to himself, the Great Decline is approaching, and more people are coming to the Blackwater realm. After that, he seemed a little anxious and asked Ning Cheng again, are you willing? Since you can block the black water without using any talismans or defensive weapons, it would be very suitable for us to join hands. Ning Cheng thought about how he had searched for so many days before finding a single piece of Nirvana Dao Dragon Scale Sand. This black-robed man had been here for many years, so maybe he really did find a mysterious immortal cave. Okay, I agree to join hands with you. As for the split, I can't let you suffer too much. Let's not split it 30 to 70, let's just split it 40 to 60. Ning Cheng stamped the good fortune divine spear in his hand on the ground and spoke with determination. The black-robed man's face turned cold. What did you say? I said 30 to 70, it's 70 for me and 30 for you. Who do you think you are, to dare to split it 40 to 60 with me? Who do you think you are? 40 to 60, 60 for me, 40 for you. If you don't want to do it, then fuck off. By the way, before you fuck off, you have to compensate me for my talismans. Ning Cheng's good fortune divine spear once again rolled up a wave of spear traces. Ning Cheng's principle was to deal with unreasonable people even more unreasonable than him. Huh, good boy, you dare to say such words. Then let this sovereign see who will fuck off first. As the black-robed man spoke, two red lights swept towards Ning Cheng from the left and right. These two red lights clearly swept towards Ning Cheng, but Ning Cheng felt that these two red lights wanted to bind the entire black water of the Blackwater world. Moreover, in this black water, he couldn't escape from these two red lights no matter where he went. So strong, Ning Cheng felt even more cautious. From this, one could imagine that if he wasn't in the black water, these two red lights wouldn't just bind the black water, but the entire space. This was the first time Ning Cheng had seen someone use red lights to bind space. The Dao charm aura of these two red lights gave Ning Cheng a faint familiar feeling. However, Ning Cheng didn't have time to think about where he had felt this Dao charm aura before. Instead, he raised his hand and was about to bring out his law-breaking spirit technique. Just when Ning Cheng brought out his law-breaking spirit technique to tear apart the Dao charm laws binding the red lights, the time around him started to freeze. Ning Cheng felt even more shocked. Not only did these red lights bind space, but they could also bind time. Law-breaking finger. While feeling shocked, Ning Cheng shot out a finger without hesitation. This black-robed man's strength had far exceeded his expectations. Therefore, he didn't think about asking for compensation from this black-robed man. Instead, he wanted to save his life. Boom! The black water exploded, destroying everything in its path. Ning Cheng didn't know how deep the Blackwater Sea was, but with just a finger, Ning Cheng directly broke through all the black water. Under Ning Cheng's finger, the extremely heavy black water exploded into an endless water curtain. The water curtain rained down, and the black water within a radius of dozens of miles was blasted away. At this moment, Ning Cheng felt as if he wasn't at the bottom of the water, but at the bottom of a deep pit. Looking up, he could see the gray sky. The surrounding laws of heaven and earth weakened, and the red lights binding the space and time between heaven and earth also weakened at this moment. Kaka, the red lights and the law-breaking finger collided, and another explosion of Dao charm filled the sky. The weakened red lights couldn't bind Ning Cheng in the end. Under the impact of the law-breaking finger, it turned into nothingness and dissipated in the exploding black water. Ning Cheng took in a deep breath and stared at the black-robed man in front of him warily. His law-breaking finger had only been used to block the opponent's spirit technique for the first time. It didn't have any offensive capabilities. So strong. The black-robed man also stared at Ning Cheng in shock. Don't look at the red light spirit technique he used. It was one of his most powerful spirit techniques. It could bind space and time. Moreover, his red light spirit technique was even more powerful in this Blackwater world, which had almost no laws. Yet, the other party had broken through such a powerful spirit technique with a single finger. This person's strength simply reached the heavens. Both sides feared each other and didn't attack again. The black-robed man put away the red light. From beginning to end, Ning Cheng couldn't see what weapon he used. The black water that had been blasted away fell again, but it was blocked in the middle of the domain between the two. You're very strong. Are you really only in the Dao integration realm? The black-robed man took in a deep breath and asked in a solemn tone. Ning Cheng didn't put away the good fortune divine spear and said calmly, my realm has nothing to do with you. You attacked me for no reason and broke my talisman. Wait, I agree. Let's go to that place together. We'll split it 50-50. No one will take advantage of the other. The man didn't wait for Ning Cheng to finish speaking. When Ning Cheng heard this, he put away the good fortune divine spear. His original idea was to split it 50-50. This fellow wanted him to join forces, yet he gave him a 30-70 split. This fellow's sense of superiority was just too strong. This lord is Chu Wujian. Since we're going to cooperate, I want to know your name. The black-robed man spoke up immediately after Ning Cheng agreed to a 50-50 split. I'm called Ning Cheng. Dao friend Chu, I wonder what weapon did you use to cast that red light spirit technique? Ning Cheng felt a faint sense of familiarity from the red light and asked. Chu Wujian's face sank. I didn't ask about Dao friend Ning's spirit technique, so I asked Dao friend Ning not to ask about my spirit technique. Everyone has their own secrets. After this cooperation, we'll go our separate ways and have nothing to do with each other. Ning Cheng smiled and didn't care about it. However, he felt that although Chu Wujian's spirit technique was powerful, it had a fatal weakness. Moreover, he hadn't found this weakness yet. If he fought with Chu Wujian a few more times, maybe he would find this weakness. By the way, the problem with the other party's spirit technique was that the aura of the two red lights and the Dao charm of the two red lights didn't blend well with each other. If they fused, then with his current strength, even his order-breaking finger wouldn't be able to break the other party's two red lights. The two red lights seemed to contain a kind of yin and yang Dao charm, but the aura contained within them was the life force of all living things. Ning Cheng's heart skipped a beat. He finally remembered that it was the aura of the good fortune azure lotus. It was the same aura that Yan Xishuang had obtained from the azure lotus petal. How could Chu Wujian have the azure lotus petal? Even if he did, that woman, Xing Shi, should have taken it back. Unless Chu Wujian also had a good fortune weapon like him, but how was that possible? You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.